Let everyone know we're live again. Alright. Just a moment, everyone. Right, I will say hello to everyone again properly in a second. I'm just doing my social posts. I'll be with you all in a moment. Alright, hello everyone. I'm just getting sorted. I'll give it a minute for people to arrive. While we just... Oh, don't move that. That's part of the stream layout. What are we expecting today? No idea. It's the PC Gaming Show. Genuinely... I would expect a lot of PC niche genres. I would expect a lot of, like, hardcore gamer, RTX 4070 card wielding, fucking real-time strategy shit. It's gonna be very PC, like, quote-unquote PC games. PC games. Hey, Artisynth. Hello again, everyone. Is it going to be 4 hours? I'm hoping 2 at most. I'm hoping we stay under 2 hours. Hey, Johnny Desu. I am back. I've had my little half-hour break since the roller coaster that was Xbox. I have a lot of opinions about that Xbox conference. At some point I can explain in depth all of my ups and downs of that conference, but we're here to see PC gaming shit, so that'll be fun. Let me turn the music down a smidge. Maybe here? Maybe this is okay. We'll try this. I mean, it's probably gonna be Day 9? Is that his name? Day 9? He usually hosts it. I mean, honestly, Xbox is the only one that felt so far like E3. The rest of these have all had a distinctly Summer Games Fest feel. E3... Xbox was the closest to getting the feel of an E3. My gut impression of when we can expect a Nintendo Direct is probably, if I was gonna, like, put my money on the table, I would say Wednesday of either this upcoming week or the week after. So, like, the 12th or the 19th would be my guess. Just going from, like, gut instinct, and, like, what they have said, past years, and gut instinct. I have no evidence to say that, but I feel like mid next week feels like the smart choice, which is why I want to say a week later. I always hedge my bets on Nintendo to not capitalize on the it's the good old hopium. Well, I mean, we know there's one coming in June, and I think Nintendo would be stupid not to capitalize on people are thinking about, like, E3 season. But because that would be stupid for them to not... It would be stupid for them not to capitalize on it. They probably won't capitalize on it. That's Nintendo for you. Oh, do we have PC Gamer music now? We do. I can turn their waiting music up a little. That's a little easier for me to manage. Oh, I'm still exhausted by that stupid Deck 9 story. Let's have a look. Apparently, the Perfect Dark we saw during the Xbox show is a sequel to Perfect Dark Zero, or a revival of Perfect Dark Core / Perfect Dark Vengeance, which were cancelled sequels. Call of Duty Black Ops is approximately 310 gigabytes. That's some new stuff. Deck 9 is owned by Square Enix, yeah. Petal Runner I am so excited for. I was watching the YouTuber who made all the pixel art for Petal Runner. I watched over lunch today them making a video going, yeah, I've been making a game in secret for the last 3 years, and him like talking about the development of it, and that was quite exciting to see. Do we know if Square Enix has tried addressing the problems at all? There hasn't been a lot of transparency, and that's kind of the problem. If there had been transparency, I'd feel better about it. There was... Let me find the one statement we have publicly, as far as I'm aware. Deck 9's response. At Deck 9, telling diverse and deeply human stories is part of our DNA, and it's every creative individual at the studio who helps make them compelling. We're a small, diverse, incredibly talented team, which is reflected in the characters and intimate stories we make. Our hiring and promotion practices prioritize a diverse culture and workforce because of the experiences we're creating, and it's the right thing to do. We're proud to be a studio that employs a diverse team that goes above and beyond industry norms. We're independently owned, and we strive to compensate all our employees fairly, and we recently made salary adjustments. With countless other studios in the game industry, we're constantly working to be better through practices, through development, to enjoy crunch. We place the utmost importance on the welfare of every employee. We have strict conduct policies in place. As soon as allegations or issues are reported to HR, they're confidentially investigated, assessed and addressed with all the parties involved quickly and effectively as possible. It's always our intention to maintain a positive blah 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 blah. If any issues arise, we will bring in external parties, blah blah blah. We're integrating new tools to ensure that Nazi shit doesn't slip into the game again. We'll do extra vetting to try and keep an eye out for offensive shit being snuck into the game, and we're rolling out formal anti-hate speech training and processes. Storytelling is a collaborative process, and we work closely with all our partners throughout development to deliver a narrative experience true to the pillars of a product that we're proud of. And as is always the case, sometimes ideas get cut, but we champion diversity in telling stories from historically underrepresented groups. It's a fucking fluff statement. It's not, we fucked up and we're sorry and we will do better. It's, we're diverse and we tell diverse stories, and we're making everything diverse, and we're trying so hard to make everything diverse. We're so diverse here. We tell such diverse stories. It's not a fucking apology, and it's not an actionable response. And there's been no, like, Square Enix has not, like, properly addressed it, and Deck 9 hasn't done much more than a fluff statement. What Nazi shit was snuck in? Go read the IGN article. I'm not going to go into huge depth. pretty clear Nazi dog whistles that would be deniable by themselves, but when they start mounting up, it becomes pretty fucking clear they're Nazi shit. I'm not gonna go too into depth. Oh, Rule Spider, I was just saying Nintendo Direct. Like, Nintendo Direct on, like, Tuesday or Wednesday of this upcoming week would be capitalizing on we're in Summer Games Fest season, ride that wave of people paying attention to game showcases, but they won't. Is there a link to the article? Google it. Google IGN Deck 9 Nazi, and you'll find it. I apologize for not digging it out for you. It's a whole thing. Yeah, you can link it for people who want to know more. I'm not gonna go Google it for you. I'm tired. I apologize, it's not you, Mudkip Gal, I'm tired. It's an exhausting story, and I'm tired. But yes, you can go read the full thing. As I've said on social media, I said on Twitter, in the half hour I was off this, I would love to be reassured that everything is fine and I can go back to enjoying Life is Strange. I would love for that to be the case. What I want is even the tiniest little bit of assurance that they have taken it seriously, that they realise there was an actual proper fuck-up, and that they have actionably done things to avoid those fuck-ups in future while going, the people who are harmed by those fuck-ups will make it right for them. Like, that's all I need. All I need is, like, something that says, we acknowledge a pretty fucking serious fuck-up happened, and we're not just saying fluff words in response to it. We're, like, actually talking to you like a fuck... I want them to talk like a fucking human and not a corporate wallpapering. Yeah, Mina Kobold, it was generic platitudes and not accountability. And that's the problem. That's the reason why I'm so conflicted on it, is I'm like... You haven't said enough that I can go... It's maybe okay. Do you think you're still going to play it or boycott it? That's a really complicated question, and I'm not going to be able to answer that question for a while. I'll say this. I would love it if sometime between now and that game's release I was reassured in some way that things had changed. And if that's not the case, well, when that game comes out, I will talk about that not being the case, and I will talk about not playing it, and we'll have that conversation when it comes out. But I would like to hold on to a slither of hope that something will change. I said this on Twitter. This is the first one in a while that's really fucking hurt to potentially boycott. Because, like, I've talked about before, I didn't play Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle 2. What was it called? Spark of Hopes? I boycotted that despite having a fucking Mario Rabbids Laura tattoo. You know, there are ones I've boycotted that were rough. I boycotted the Ubisoft roller champs after being, like, spending years desperate for a roller derby video game, and one got released, and I had a great time with it, and then that abuse shit came out, and I was like, nah, fucking put it down, not playing it again. Life is Strange is the first one in a while where it's been like, it's gonna really fucking suck to not play this. Yeah, Thimba, it's a long fucking article. The short version, CEO was racist and sexist and transphobic and generally anti-woke. Nazi shit kept slipping into the game and HR didn't take it fucking seriously. And harassment of minority workers. Sorry, was it the lead writer? I know part of the stuff was the C-suite, like the CEO, CFO, like the chief blank officer tier. I know someone, I apologize, if I've said the wrong person, it might have been, I didn't think it was lead writer, I thought it was CEO. Someone high enough up that people can't really say no to him was a sexist, racist, transphobic dickbag. Squidder's time, you would have to double check. I remember it differently, but I don't know. Yeah, they fired him and then tried to bring him back. Yeah, that whole shit. Go read the article. I'm mostly trying to do this from memory. Like, Go spend 25 minutes reading about horrible industry abuse. I'm not gonna rehash the whole article here. I'm in a bad enough mood about that piece already. Hey, focus on me, play.
Welcome to the pre-show for the PC Gaming Show. I am Frankie.
Narrative
Williams,
director and
Party
CCO,
London,
but supported by the
and
rest of the
after a fun
C-suite.
week of
Okay.
gaming events, we're almost ready for 2 hours of trailers and announcements dedicated to PC gaming. And
Okay,
this
2
year
hours.
is extra special because, can you believe it? It's our 10th anniversary. We created the PC Gaming Show in 2015 at a time when PC gaming didn't have a big seat at the table of summer
It's
games.
not your 10th anniversary then!
PC is mainstream now. Some would say.
The first year was 2015. I was at the first one. That was 9 years ago. Or
It's probably not a coincidence that other platforms look more like PCs with each pass.
they're going into their
For us,
10th
last
year,
10
I
years
guess they
represent
mean?
a golden decade for PC gaming. An era that has seen PCs enjoy the biggest library of games, continue to be the place where new ideas are born, and become more
I just want to
accessible
be able to
than
be...
it's ever been. And
I
while
just
we've
want
got
to be
some
able to be
topics
excited
our
about
PC
certain
gaming
video
show,
games.
Let's take a moment to reflect on the biggest games, genres, hardware, and happenings that shaped PC gaming in the last 10 years. Moment number 10. The Witcher 3 was a universally loved generational RPG. So let's hear what was so significant about CD Projekt Red's game, aside from Geralt
Yeah,
being in the
the
bath
10th
and
edition of the show, I guess.
Going back to that scene over and over again. In fact, let's head to Ted while I just go.
Oh god, 2015 I
I was
think
way
was
more
the
excited
year I
for
was
Dragon
in the
Age
room with
Inquisition
Jed
at the time.
Whittaker.
And
God, would
came
that
to
have been
The Witcher 3
2015?
Late. Like,
When I was in the
Christmas
room with Jed and we
that year.
crowdfunded for
It was the
pillows
first time I stayed
for
up
the uncomfortable chairs.
to 4 a.m. playing.
Can
a
I
video
find that
game by
GoFundMe?
accident in I don't know how long. Like I was.
Does
in
it still
love with
exist?
that game. And there was always one forum
Give me a
guy
sec.
who would be like, "Why don't they make like an open world game like the Elder Scrolls, but with like BioWare writing?" It's like, gee, man, why don't they? And they did.
The thing The Witcher managed to really nail was bringing Polish folklore to the masses. I remember playing it and I was like, these monsters are like pretty cool, really, aren't they? And then I went and read the books and I was like, oh, this is all like really faithful to the Polish folklore. This is actually awesome. To have a game that was so well received and for it to be about quite like a niche section of folklore is awesome. I love that.
It was like everything I think on paper I'd ever loved or ever wanted from an RPG. Still love that game. Still revisit it like every 1-2 years or so. I gotta get my fix.
Nope, that old GoFundMe no longer exists. That's
This isn't the only
to be
RPG that
expected,
brings the
honestly.
fast single-player storytelling. Next on our list, a hardware innovation that has
Why is this talking Witcher? I don't know why it's talking about The
won
Witcher.
millions of PC gamers.
Uh,
Moment number 9. There have been many technological advances to PC gaming over the years, but few compete with the advent of DLSS.
I think it's had a bigger impact than people actually expected it to. I think when it came out, it kind of got overshadowed by ray tracing and other technologies. Whereas DLSS has crept up on us and has actually been the more important, the more impactful thing. You know, you're taking
this is gonna be my
frame,
year. It's
lower
gonna be my
resolution
year.
than
This
what you
year's gonna be
normally tend to
great.
run at. You're upscaling
And the
it,
video game
you're
industry's
saving that
bullshit isn't gonna
performance.
ruin that
and so
for
you
me.
just
I
end up with
tell
more
myself.
performance, and it feels like a free upgrade. It's a technology that has sort of become vital in running some modern games.
I think of DLSS as one of the most significant steps of like the 25-year evolution of GPUs, right? Like as graphics got more and more detailed, it became more of a burden for our GPUs to render games. The solution to that was building some kind of specialized hardware.
That lets us have
Dallas
better
Solankel, I'm
effects.
just tired
We can
about
do
stuff
things
like Deck 9.
ray tracing and lots and lots
Deck
of
9,
expensive
The Life is
transparency
Strange thing
effects
just
that typically
reminded me
would
I'm tired of
cause
the
us to run
industry.
out of fill rate essentially on the hardware, so that we wouldn't be able to render those effects at 4K effectively. Better image quality and really just improve frame rates for that given image quality too.
Now, we all love a comeback story, don't we? And the next game in our look back at the last 10 years of PC gaming rode expectations that were taller than a sandworm. It definitely got knocked off the sandy steed when the game released, but gosh darn it, it got back on.
I'm half tempted to Google,
Moment
but I
number
know
8.
I would get disappointed and depressed by it.
No Man's
I'm
Sky
half tempted to
was,
Google
me,
various
sort of
like game
a tipping
websites
point
coverage
leading to this idea of
the new Life is Strange
everything
and see if
game, that,
any
like,
of them
people
mentioned that
were so
fucking
excited
Deck
about
9
the
harassment
potential,
report in
and
it.
really craved this idea of like
Or
this world you could be in, and
much
do,
like with like
every
Activision
activity
Blizzard
you can
King and
imagine.
Ubisoft,
And
like
it turned
are
out
they just
had
gonna like
way
announce
overpromised
new game
what you
announced
were
and
gonna
just like
actually
gloss
be
over
able
the
to do
bullshit?
in No Man's Sky, right? Which was ultimately a game made by a very small group of people.
What did you miss?
some
Not
players
much.
online
PC
when
Gamer
the
were talking
game
about their
does not
favorite
offer what
PC
they've
game
been led
things
to
of the last
expect.
10
People
years.
got really, really angry. That was not a happy moment, right?
Also,
but I think at the same
this was
time, No
originally a
Man's Sky has
PlayStation
ended up
exclusive.
being
Why is this in their
kind of the
list of
single
top
best
10
example of a
PC
game
gaming
studio
moments
just
of the 10
buckling
years?
down and building out every feature that they had promised, that they had alluded to, that people expected, and then way more. They just kept building on it and kept building on it.
I think at this point we're definitely in an era where a majority of games, from the biggest competitive multiplayer games to smaller games from small studios, single player stuff, like it's all kind of expected to transform over time in some way. And
Yes.
that whole
One of the
possibility owes a
best
lot
things
to
about PC
the
gaming in the
progression
last
No Man's
10
Sky
years
made to
is
this
a game
redemption
that
story
released
of
kind of
success.
broken and
Certainly
not fulfilling
early
its
access
promises
is
that
one of the biggest
eventually
examples
sorted
of
its
this,
shit
an
out.
extension of kind of a groundwork that
This
No Man's
game
Sky
sold us
laid,
something it wasn't, but
with early
eventually it
access being
became
a
what it was.
kind of permission that games give themselves to be less than perfect at launch and improve over time.
I think No Man's Sky ended up kind of being the game that people
PC Gamer,
wanted
why do you
Starfield
want
be
games
in
to
terms of
give themselves
how
permission
big
to
it
not
was
be
and how many
perfect at
different things you
launch
could do
and
in
fix
it.
themselves later?
But that really just goes to show, like,
We used to
how
expect
hard and
games
how much
to be
time
finished
it
when
takes
we
to
bought
build
them.
that kind of game is, right? They couldn't do it at launch, but they could do it with 7 more years of work.
Your game might not be perfect at launch, but it could be with 7 more years of work. Again, PC Gamer, how is that a success story?
I know absolutely nothing at all. But I have had a
Mudkip Gal, I'm not surprised IGN mentioned it. IGN ran the original harassment story, so like, if anyone was going to cover it, I hoped it would be them.
You might have heard recently that the esports bubble has slightly burst, but it's a phoenix. It's coming back from the grassroots ashes, and what we're seeing are publishers giving their games to tournament organisers and to the fans and getting them to put on new tournament circuits. And that is really how you grow and sustain a scene, having experts run them and having the best players in the world want to play in them. So I can't wait to be front row at a few more tournaments in future. But hold on, I know someone else who knows esports inside and out. Sean, how's it going over there in the studio?
Oh, Frankie, I'm doing great. I'm still getting all dolled up for the show later today.
Looking good, Sean. But do you mind sparing a crumb of esports knowledge?
Frankie, I would be delighted to, even though I look a little ridiculous right now.
Okay, one sec while I respond to an email. There we go. Doing emails to find out what I can and can't engage with.
Creating a game that has had both
Hera, I
immense
can see you
fan
chat.
and critical acclaim. But don't just take my word for it. Here to share his thoughts.
Yeah,
is a
I
star
look,
in
I'm
The writing
incredibly
was so
yeah.
good, the acting was so great. with
Sorry,
so
I'll
many
mute this
different
again to talk
hundreds
about
of
this. Yeah, No Man's Sky is a great example, much like Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn was, of if you release a thing and it's not good, it is possible to put the work in and not just go, we sold it to you now, we've got your money, tough luck, and go, no, this isn't what we expected it to be, and it should be better, and we will just fucking knuckle down and do free updates until it is correct. And I would rather that than them not do that road of updates. And like both Final Fantasy XIV and No Man's Sky are both, by all accounts, really good games now. But you shouldn't be celebrating. It's okay that it released bad because over 7 years they fixed it. It's like, well, no. Games should seek to be good, like to be ready when you release them.
The voice actors themselves,
Yeah.
you can really see that they put a lot of love to this project.
As a performer, to be able to play every kind of iteration you could possibly imagine of the character is an incredible experience, because you don't just get to play one version of the character, you get to play every version of the character, which is beautifully indulgent and really wonderful.
Thank you so much to Neil Newham. Our next reflection is a little bit meta. Well, not meta, it's more an Amazon thing. I just mean that we're talking about the platform that you're watching this very show on. Moment number 5. When we talk about gaming as a medium, what's so interesting now is how blurred the line is between playing a game and watching it. Let's see what our experts have to add to that.
I don't think I've bought a game in the last few years without first watching someone play it on Twitch. It was my personal gateway into PC gaming specifically. I started to discover
Twitch exists is one of the top 10 PC gaming moments of the last 10 years, I guess, sure.
Found specific PC games I wanted to try more than anything, like, at the time, RimWorld. I discovered a whole new world through watching Twitch streamers play games, a world I wanted to be a part of.
Playing games and then watching other people play them deepens and enriches the experience that I have just engaging with games in general. And there's the element of community. It's so much fun to play a game and then just celebrate how much we love it with other people, and being in a chat and seeing someone else appreciate something that you love is just always a heartening thing to experience.
We have almost reached the start of the PC Gaming Show, where we'll have dozens of new game trailers and exclusive interviews, so stay tuned. Now, as we look back at
Look,
this
I'm not
golden
saying
era
that
of
Twitch
PC
isn't
gaming,
important
naturally,
to gaming generally, and I guess specifically PC gaming. But I am saying, I feel like it's,
Moment number 4.
for a list of only 10 top things, I feel like you could do 10 things that are actually about, directly about PC gaming. Like, I don't think you have to go a sidestep afield to get a top 10.
Here to tell us more about Fortnite are some real experts.
It was the first commercial battle royale to really make a mark. I think obviously PUBG had kind of run a mark that was everywhere. Fortnite launched and honestly was like terrible at launch. It was just a kind of crafting survival game.
Yeah, once again, this is a second one of our top 10 where it's like, oh, well, when it released it was shit, but then it got really good.
Like Tim Sweeney and Epic really fought to make it so that every platform could play together, and now crossplay feels like kind of a standard thing for a lot of games.
Oh, this is
which is great, obviously, for us on the PC.
Jake.
Because then people can play with us without us having
Jake,
to go to less obviously. But
Jake Tucker.
but
Yeah.
The other thing that it did really well is they introduced licensing into games in a way that's really interesting. Oh, hey, I'm playing Fortnite with my friend the Xenomorph and RoboCop and, you know, any Marvel
Steph would
superhero.
really fucking disagree with this. Oh, Fortnite's great. It brought random brand crossovers into gaming.
Coexist with the comparatively smaller games made by smaller teams, or even a particularly talented...
This is a weird top 10. I was like, I don't disagree with Fortnite being in the top 10 most important things that happened in PC gaming in the last decade, but what they chose to focus on is weird.
Luckily for you, the last 10 years has seen the rise of the cozy game genre. To tell us more, here's Lauren Morton from PC Gamer.
I think Stardew Valley really just nails the customization element and letting you have so many paths through the same game. Like, it was definitely the seed for like
Cozy games didn't exist before 10 years ago. You heard it here first,
It's
chat.
definitely the start of people looking for
Animal Crossing, Harvest Moon, all those games. Nah, Stardew Valley invented cozy games.
chill cultivating experience. That they could make a game like that level of sensation that Stardew Valley
The
became.
video
It's
might
sort
be
of
low.
like
I'm
it felt
at
like.
it low because
Everybody who plays
this
has
isn't
some opinions
announcements,
about
and I'm
who they
trying
should
to not
romance, whether they
have
should
it
go the
jam my
community
hearing
route or the
because of
Jojo
autism
route,
while I
whether
talk.
you want to be a fisher or a ranger.
I've turned it up a
or,
bit,
like, some
but
path through the game, and you have so much control.
this isn't
over
the trailers or anything. I
environment
thought
that
it was
you wanna
fine to just
explore.
have it
Just
quiet while I talk
gives
over
you
it.
that sense of like personalization and making a space yours that doesn't get old, really.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Doesn't it make a nice change to not be killing something?
Yeah, we've still got a 3.5
Moment
minute,
number
got
2.
nearly 4-minute countdown
You know,
before
back
the
in
thing
my
starts.
day, communicating with our gaming friends over voice chat wasn't exactly simple. We had to hear our teammates eating while they rushed B on Inferno. We had to endure the shriek of Skype just to pair up with pals in StarCraft, and all I can say is never again.
Before Discord, there was TeamSpeak, we had Mumble, we had Pigeon, and it took an army of nerds to be able to put it together. And with Discord, like, anybody can just join it. If you have a
Skype
phone or a
existed.
PC,
You did.
Discord
Okay,
is just
sure.
there. I don't
Discord,
know
one of the most
why
important
it
things to
didn't
happen to
exist
PC gaming
beforehand,
in a
but, like,
decade, I
it's
guess.
just been a godsend, honestly.
The thing about Discord for me as an independent developer is it's really made getting like live conversations with our community going so seamless and easy because everybody who talks about games is already on Discord. Amazing. And we have 10,000 people in our Discord. That's nuts. The problem for me with Discord is that if you have just 12 people in a Discord and they're all talking to each other, you're going to get drama. So it's like the challenge for indie game developers is, yes, it's this incredible tool. It's totally low-hanging fruit. Everyone has it. But you need to give resource to it literally every single day. And it's very... it's demanding. It's demanding. But I love my Discord, and they're my little freaks. So I wouldn't give them up for anything. We have also kept our forums open at the same time, though, just to like play the field.
Chatting with your friends online has never been easier.
That was really not the biggest Discord
And now,
advocate they could have
number
got to
one
give
moment
quotes
from
about
the last
Discord,
decade.
was it?
Alright, we're nearly ready to start the PC Gaming Show. Who's ready? Actually, is our host ready? Let's check on him.
Hey.
Hey Sean, how's it looking over there, buddy? You got your hosting pants on yet?
Frankie, indeed, I am wearing pants, but you just can't rush this kind of beauty.
Sean, I know you're already hosting the show along with our friend Mika Burton.
Time to watch a woman
Give a moment
pretend to
think
lint
on,
roll
you know,
day
the most
9.
historically significant thing that's happened in PC gaming since 2015?
For our 10th anniversary, Frankie, I wouldn't miss it.
Oh,
for
is
the
it the
world.
PC gaming show?
Think about
Okay.
a brand new release that's trying to do something more. Bigger,
You
explosive,
put both
graphic,
Fortnite and the
pushing
Dawn
some
of Battle
technical thing to the
Royale
limit.
on the
Like,
thing.
PUBG did not really run very well on release. Like I was getting
2 of your
30
top
seconds
10
when I
are...
played, but it was so compelling.
A Battle Royale got big.
When Fortnite switches its core gameplay away from that build a base and defend things at night into a Battle Royale and becomes the #1 game in the world. And I think that it was so impactful because it was like watching the birth of a new genre. People that did not play shooter games.
I'm going to be honest, I really thought their #1 thing was going to be the PC gaming show. That the PC gaming show was going to be their top #1, top most important thing that happened to PC gaming in the last 10 years. I would have respected the hell out of the hustle if they'd called themselves the #1.
Read more about the 10 biggest moments in the last decade of PC gaming on PCGamer.com and let us know your favourite gaming moments using...
Yeah, sorry, a third PUBG didn't run well at launch. 30% of their top 10 are games that were kind of shit at launch. PC is really sort of incentivizing a certain kind of game development, I guess. Again, I don't disagree that Fortnite and Battle Royales were a big thing for PC gaming. I don't even disagree with No Man's Sky. It's like, I disagree with some of the phrasing of why they say those things are important. Okay, let's see if this is the same volume as the pre-show, or not. No, I haven't done a bingo card for the PC Gaming Show because it's too broad. Literally anything in the fucking planet could appear here.
Show 2024. Once again, I'm absolutely
Oh,
thrilled
this
to be
is
your
the
host.
most
My name is
pretentious
Sean
show.
We've got another great show
This
for you,
is-
packed with trailers,
Guerrilla Collective, you're less
exclusives, and lots of
pretentious than this, I'll
surprises,
give you
but
that.
here is what I'm most excited about. Joining me once again is the
Who is Day 9? I don't know. I think he was a esports commentator for Rust?
So glad to be here.
Was he an esports commentator for
in the
Rust?
history of the PC gaming show.
I might be wrong.
Seriously,
He
like
would
a whole
he,
decade
he was a
covering
commentator
ever-changing
for
landscape of
something.
PC gaming and all of the incredible
StarCraft,
games
sorry, he was a
during that time.
StarCraft commentator.
Pretty impressive.
I was pretty close. I remember he was an esports commentator.
Child, he would be slamming doors
I remembered
and
that
belittling me in
much.
public and still asking for V-Bucks in Fortnite.
Yeah, well, before we take a look at the future of PC gaming, let's get a bit nostalgic and take a look back at some of our favorite moments from the last 10 years of the show.
Oh, dude. Cue the emotive montage.
Are we doing that same top 10 a second time?
Over the years, we've featured so many great games, some of which got their start right here on
Sorry, no, is this a different top 10? This is top 10 favorite moments of the PC gaming show, whereas the last one was top 10 moments of the last 10 years of PC gaming as a concept.
It was an innocent time. We were so young and naive back then.
We sure were. And what about way back when the PC gaming show was live, and we had developers like Dean Hall and Warren Spector, and oh my god, look at baby.
And I was sat in the crowd with Jed Whittaker crowdfunding a GoFundMe to get a cushion because the seats were uncomfortable.
Live streaming from a surface of a little white rock that we call the moon.
Hey, what?
Wow. I don't know if it's my dwindling oxygen levels or the fact that my internal organs are floating weightlessly around my body. I'm very dizzy with excitement. Houston, anything new on the
This is
ERP
why.
front?
Hey, what?
This is why I opened the AA showcase with, hey, look, I gotta do like 90 seconds of like preamble to set the stage and do some announcements. But like, I'm gonna get to the fucking games. Don't worry, I'm not gonna like fuck around with doing skits. Here's where you can find the ASL and BSL and audio described versions. Here's why we do this showcase. Anyway, games. No one's here for this.
Really happen, right?
Oh, of course, Mika. I know. I'm not an idiot. Moon landing, sure.
Well, we have some more exciting news. No 10th anniversary show would be complete without our favorite Brit and gaming goddess. It's none other than Frankie Ward.
Thank you so much, Mika.
We're 3 minutes in, and we're building up to a top 10 that hasn't begun yet of looking back before we start the trailers.
When I say, could you two stop goofing around and just get to the trailers already?
Well, in a second. But Frankie, riddle me this.
Hey, PC gaming show, lampshading this, pointing out that you want that people want you to hurry up and get to the trailers. Just because you've acknowledged that doesn't mean we can't be critical of it. You're aware that you're dragging things out and not getting to the trailers, and yet you had the power to change that and you didn't. If anything, it makes it worse that you're acknowledging that you are 4 minutes in and haven't gotten to the trailers. Yeah, this is 2 hours. Oh, another scene change.
I think you're onto something. I mean, this is way better.
Yeah, thank you, Frankie. And you know what? Thank you, chair scientists everywhere.
I'm glad you're both comfortable because we've got a great
Chair scientists.
trailers to the most
You know
exciting
what?
upcoming PC games.
I'd have given this a 10 out of 10 if when they'd sat on those chairs, they'd have gone, chair scientist. Good thing we've got comfy chairs, unlike our first year. Sorry, Laura and Jed. And I'd acknowledged that GoFundMe we ran in the showcase. I'd have gone, yeah, a 10 out of 10. Great showcase.
World premiere announcements here.
Shagtastic says, I know nothing about gaming shows. What's happening? 2 people are being very pretentious, and we might see some video game trailers. That's what's happening. And I'm sat here being snarky, because that's... Okay, yeah, they made it 5 minutes in before our first trailer. Oh yeah, I do have the Steam Deck up here, so if any of this stuff looks interesting, I can wishlist it. It's first-person Stardew. I do like these weirdly stylized creature designs for your farm. Devolver's been a little hit and miss the last couple of years. It's been a little wobbly, but it's really found its footing again this year. I can see describing this as less square Minecraft, kinda free-to-use Totoro. Yeah, even when I, don't think the gag of a Devolver one, is their best work. I'm still like, no, you put effort in, and it's at least not like. I never walk away from a Devolver show being like, that was tacky and pretentious. I'm always like, oh yeah, you had an idea, and like you actually had some people who like thought a thing through.
From the creators of Dolph-Romantic and Kurzgesagt comes a new game in space.
I feel like Kurzgesagt's the YouTube channel had some controversy around it.
Help them claim nearby asteroids. You'll need to build stuff.
Their art style is cute. I'm trying to remember. I feel like it's the Kurzgesagt's YouTube channel that does like animated things about like learn about the world, but their politics are a bit wonky. Sometimes like they will be good educational content, and sometimes it's like, yeah, you covered that with a real political theme that like snuck in there very insidiously.
Starbirds coming to a solar system near you. Wishlist now on Steam.
Yeah, they've done some. They trade their reliability in occasionally to sneak not great science through that you won't notice because you're used to them being reliable. And don't take that they don't respond well to that criticism being levied at them. You know, they'll have some good educational content, and then they'll have a video that's like, yeah, carbon credits are definitely a sustainable way of dealing with the climate crisis. It's okay for big corporations to use huge amounts of energy. They buy credits to plant trees or whatevs. It's like, that's not really the case though, is it, Kurzgesagt? And they're like, oh, don't worry, we're onto something scientific again now. Don't worry about it. Like, they'll occasionally just, like, spout some pseudoscience in a very confident voice and then just go back to actual educational content. And it's a little bit like, I wouldn't recommend them as an educational resource.
Vibes, guns, but also magic. Sign me the heck up. And actually, Mika, question for you.
We got 2 trailers in before they came back to this room.
Well, I could see myself as like a ruthless bounty hunter.
Yes, apologies you occasionally get flashes of Laura and the Goose. It's when I'm changing internet tabs that are not on that monitor. It occasionally when I'm hovering going, which set of tabs do I need to open on my other monitor? It'll invisible the internet tabs and you'll see my desktop background.
I would die quickly. People have always said I look like the Disco Elysium bloated corpse.
Right? It really checks out. Well, in Lornvale, it looks like both of
Yeah,
those
carbon
versions-
credits and carbon offsetting are
Now,
bullshit.
Sean, since we're talking about fantasy games, lots of them.
Let me just educate you about carbon offsets and carbon credits. So there's 2 problems. Like basically, big corporations that are supposed to not pollute so much get around it by continuing to pollute, but going, no, we'll buy carbon credits and carbon offsets, where like someone else will get some carbon out of the atmosphere, and we'll pay them to do that, and that'll like offset the fact that we put carbon in the world. But those carbon offset schemes are by and large scams. Like most of them are plant trees, or don't cut down. Sometimes it's just don't cut down trees that already exist. Is enough to go, those will suck up carbon, and that means that polluters can keep polluting. But a lot of the time, these carbon credit companies will go to, like, you know, someone who owns a big forest with a bunch of trees, and go, were you planning to cut down any of your trees in the near future? And the guy will be like, no. And they'll say, I'll ask you again, were you planning to chop down any of your trees soon? And then the person will go, oh, yes, I was. Cool, we'll pay you money to not chop those trees down. And the person will go, cool, I wasn't planning to chop them down anyway, but, yes, I was going to chop those trees down. I'll only not do it if you pay me the money. And thus a carbon credit is born. Someone who, at some point, said they would chop some trees down, doesn't chop some trees down, when maybe encouraged by a carbon credit company to say they're chopping their trees down, to not chop the trees down. That's now a carbon credit that a big polluting company can buy to say that offset our pollution. But it's kind of worse than that, because those companies, those people who, say, own the big plot with all the trees on, will sometimes then realise, wait a second, there's nothing legally stopping me doing this a second time. So they'll go track down other carbon credit companies and go, I'm planning to cut my trees down, wink, unless you pay me to not cut my trees down. And thus, the same set of trees that was never going to get cut down is not cut down for a second time, and a second carbon credit is born that corporation purchases. And that's how carbon offsets happen. It's how you can have like an airline say, we are a zero carbon emission like airline because we paid X number of people to definitely not cut down trees they were definitely planning to cut down. That offsets every plane in our fleet. Streets of Rogue 2. So yeah, there you go. If any of you don't know, that's like the gist of why carbon, because like it's also like debatable whether carbon offsets actually remove as much carbon from the atmosphere as they claim to. Also, this looks fucking cool though. But that's the gist of how corporations are allowed to keep polluting while saying they're carbon neutral. Yes, if you decide not to cut down 1 million trees, that's basically the same as planting 1 million trees. This RPG's art style looks fucking great. Yeah, it does look very, like, original Dragon Ball. Okay, this is my first thing I'm wishlisting. What is this?
I guess it's just you and me now.
Seems that way.
But yeah, welcome to Laura Teaches You about how the world is fucked.
Well, make sure you put on...
Oh, I can see the Ranma. The Ranma 1/2. Was this a Day of the Devs? Wonder Stars. I don't remember this at Day of the Devs. I'll be honest, it's been a long... there it is. If it was, I didn't wishlist it or download it, apparently. Oh, download its demo.
Coming up in the PC Gaming Show.
It's been a long week. There we go, there's one cool looking game I found now. Does it say genre? Unleash custom attacks by combining words in this super anime turn-based RPG. Collect 200 words. Oh, you use words as, like, attacks and stuff. Okay, that's kind of fun. Well, look, if nothing else, here's a bunch of cool shit I'm going to be playing in the next year. I'll take that. Ha! Yes, Ranma 1/2, the trans awakening for many a young anime fan. I don't know what the point of the coming up segment is. Ask them, not me. I don't know. It seems kind of goofy. Okay, don't know why that exploded. Little bit lol so random.
Zoe, I was beginning to think you'd never make it. Ah, you were looking for answers.
Ending a trailer on an out-of-nowhere, uncontextualized explosion is very 2006.
I once served your father.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Ranma 1/2 is an anime where someone falls in a magic hot spring at like a hot springs. And it's the magic hot spring that turns you into a girl.
Welcome, Zoe.
And yeah, it's a whole anime about what if you accidentally found the magic hot spring that makes you into a girl. Of course they're already complaining on Twitter about how Joanna Dark looks. Thimba, I wish I could, but Mixtape is published by Annapurna, who have bullshit. Admittedly, considerably less bullshit, but like, even with Annapurna, I have to do the caveat of, okay, well, as a reminder, here's the conversations about crunch and not taking workers seriously when complaints about the auteurs at studio heads came up, and this was my thing earlier. It feels like I'm not... Because, like, what would the... In a vacuum, what would have my favourite 3 things from that showcase have been? New Life is Strange with Max, Dragon Age, and Mixtape. 2 of those 3 I have to give degrees of caveat to, and I'm like, I just want to be hype. Mixtape looks like my shit so much. Mixtape, I think I probably will fall on the side of playing, and I look forward to it, but
Well, there is an offer that
it doesn't come without...
So,
I have to answer questions about if it's correct to play, blah blah blah.
Well, Mika, I'd rather you
It is the lesser of 2 games I feel complicated about.
RTS digits.
Yeah, okay. Well, good news, Sean. You will recognize our next game, Stormgate, a real-time strategy game. It's given off some big StarCraft vibes, which is not surprising since it's being made by...
Oh, sorry, I've just missed that there was a raid apparently happened.
Sean, you played StarCraft like hour
What, Twitch? Why did you not tell me there was a raid? We raid from a Doctor Who podcast that was very gay. We're very gay over here. We were just talking about Ranma 1/2, that anime about a hot spring that turns you into a girl. So welcome, hello everyone. We're watching the PC Gamer Show. And by watching the PC Gaming Show, I mean we're talking about how the video game industry is trash and kind of being a bit snarky about this very pretentious, presentation, and then maybe once every 20 minutes going, that looks really cool and gay. So welcome. I love all the gayness and the transness. Fuck yeah, Gataquetzal. Apologies for not acknowledging the raid. The raid did not ping and tell me a raid happened.
The Celestials fight unlike anything we've seen.
This isn't StarCraft, but it's very clearly a StarCraft, right?
They have new ways to resources and centralized army production. Their flying arc ship cascades power, which they use to expand infrastructure.
I look at a game like this and honestly go, this is probably a good game, but I'm seeing nothing that I will remember beyond like half an hour from now.
Now, the Celestial Armada.
There's nothing here that makes me go,
and the war.
If you don't play every one of these that in this genre that comes out, you should play this one. Stormgate is legally distinct StarCraft by ex-StarCraft devs. Okay, they should probably say... Maybe they did. They should probably say, hey, we used to be StarCraft. This is our legally not StarCraft. Come play this if you're itching for StarCraft.
Is this
Although I imagine if you're a big StarCraft person, you probably
through
know
the galaxy, and they are ancient beings.
Yeah, there's not that many. I guess there's not that many.
RTS
RTS releases.
And everything from their beings to.
I feel like there's a lot of RTSs that get released, but maybe I'm wrong.
We love playing into that mechanically with how they express themselves on the battlefield in the game. With each faction that we develop, we start with a core identity. The Vanguard, we have this plucky human resistance. They're about adaptability, and with the Infernals, we really explored the idea of a unit-focused faction that could have a different way of summoning their troops into the battlefield. With the Celestials, when we started out, we really wanted to push a lot of boundaries. And we thought, how can we make a building-focused faction? And also a faction that introduces map-wide mobility. They are anchored by this idea that they're descending into the atmosphere from the Celestial Armada. And so when you're playing as this faction and can build structures all across the map in different places very easily, in many ways it becomes this strategic dance about where the conflict is playing out on a map. So we've kind of shifted the focus onto the buildings themselves. There's going to be a lot of emergent gameplay that players will discover on their own.
I know that we're supposed to be learning about this RTS right now, but I do want to kind of like be a little bit hyped about a different thing that's rumored to be going on. Several Nintendo people who have been reasonably accurate at leaking stuff, like several different people are now talking about the same rumor, and this gets me very excited. That at the upcoming Direct, we might be seeing a like 2D like Link's Awakening remake style Zelda game with Zelda as the playable protagonist. I'm seeing I keep seeing like a number of people. Midori, the person who leaks a lot of Sega stuff, has been going like, oh, it's going to be something special this direct. I keep seeing this rumor doing the rounds, but like different credible people are going, yeah, here's my 2 cents on it. It's real. It's like, it's imminent. Apparently, like, Link's Awakening style Zelda game, but playable Zelda seems like it. Look, I'm not going to tell you it's real until we see it, but the number of people who are suggesting it's on the horizon has me cautiously excited.
Asymmetric experience where playing one faction or another faction really feels almost like a different game entirely.
Look, I don't know if I should believe. Maybe I'm getting my hopes up. I want to believe.
In a nutshell, essentially what that
I
means
would like
is,
to
as a
believe.
player, the time between clicking and seeing their actions take place is faster than any other RTS game that's really ever come out. As a player, it just feels...
Imagine how funny if it's Linkle. Honestly, I'd take it. Linkle's a great character. I think it's a fucking travesty that Linkle showed up in Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition and then never again. Linkle's a great character who should get her own game.
Provides an on-ramp for new players coming
Link's Awakening becomes Zelda. Link awakens from the Windfish and is like, oh, I gotta be a girl now.
Appealing thing. We never want to water down that aspect of RTS, but we talk
Oh
a
god,
lot
it's
about
so
lowering the skill
disappointing
floor,
that
which means making it more approachable for new players coming in
the
without
Retro Studios Chic Zelda game never happened.
Early access
All the concepts
is
for that
much
art for
more
that game is
about bringing the
gorgeous.
community along with us and benefiting from that feedback that the community provides us to really make the game what they tell us they want.
Honestly, if you
We've been
want a
having
Zelda game,
conversations
if you want a Zelda game today that has playable Zelda and has like is the best game of the playable Zelda out today, honestly, go play RZ, the not CDI Zelda, the sequel to the CDI Zeldas, not made by those people, with a legally distinct Princess Zelda as the playable character. She's the best playable Zelda we got right now, is RZ. The Jewel of Faramore, that was the subtitle.
First look at our
Which day is the direct? It hasn't been officially announced. Nintendo has said it's in June. I would expect a Tuesday or a Wednesday, probably in the first half of June, would be my gut instinct.
By going to Steam and picking up one of our bundles that's available today.
Oh, I don't doubt that there's a chance those prototypes for the Chic Zelda were bad, but
Hey Sean,
I still want it.
If you're excited for RTS Madness, wait until you hear this. I've been using pretzels to scoop up my ice cream instead of a spoon. Pretzels, they're like spoons you can eat.
Oh, solid logic, Frankie, but why are you telling me this now?
Why are you telling us this now?
Optimum watch party strategy. No spoons, nothing to wash later. Get it? Here is another example. Let's say someone during a watch party. A regular person would get up and answer the door, but me? I just hurl this brick through my front window, and whoever was knocking runs away.
I'm gonna sit and eat
bricks. They're like
cereal marshmallows while they do this bullshit.
Get you, Frankie. A window brick sounds totally overpowered. I think you're onto something.
Why did they have the third host in a different location? I'm guessing recording schedules didn't line up, or potentially more scandalous, two of these people don't get along, but they're meant to be the two hosts. They're like, I don't want to record in the same room as him. Okay, fine, we'll do a two-thing setup. But like, I feel like it's just they weren't available on the same day. They tried to make a thing of it. Yeah, why have 3 hosts, 2 of them in one place and 1 elsewhere? Are we trying to do Martian communism? Rule Spider, that's my thought. I wasn't certain if she was pregnant or it was just the way she was sat. But my thought is she due to go into labor and they recorded her segments separately way earlier so that they, like, to line up with the fact that when they wanted to film the rest of it in the fancy studio was right around her due date. Like, that's my guess. Her due date was such that they were like, we want to do the fancy studio element, but we can't have her if we do that. Yeah. Oh, or it's Suppress Communism on Mars Simulator? I don't know. Maybe I could have paid more attention to the trailer, but we're on like day 4 of E3, not E3, and I'm tired. Deck builder isometric strategy game. We've not seen any of those this week. This one does have frogs though, so... Golnicorn, what did you miss? There was one game that looked very anime and you fight in an RPG using words. What was that one called? That looked kind of cool. Let me pull up my home screen. Wander Stars? 2 separate words, I think. And then there's this, which is deck builder isometric strategy game with toads. Called Toads of the Bayou. Some other stuff happened in the middle. I don't know, a lot of that half hour was a blur.
When the demon looked upon the earth, it was the look of death.
I love this bear just hanging out with the archaeologists.
Another dimension. What a twat.
The primary
What a
mission is to
twat.
sabotage Camelot's operation at any cost.
Legally distinct StarCraft happened.
How about a little switcheroo?
You got equipped with Thinamagics too.
You're not the only one with tricks up your sleeve.
Tight passages traversing the rooftops will require some cunning.
Don't mind me.
Did you just melt it?
It's an incredibly complicated chemical reaction. But yes. Impressive.
Terrifying.
It has its uses.
I've got glimpses of a strange machine he's been working on. I have no idea what it does.
We'll keep it simple then. Stab and shoot our way to the off button.
I might go turn my fan on in a minute. It's getting warm again in here. I don't know if it's getting warm or I'm just getting tired.
Said that a career in archaeology would be uneventful.
Let's get some air circulating in the office so that I wake up. Airflow will keep me awake for another 90 minutes of video games.
Stealth Tactics, a ragtag group of scientists, and a werebear. What a great world premiere trailer. And speaking of trailers...
Oh,
Mika,
what a
we've
great
had
trailer
ton of
we
them on
just
the PC
did.
Gaming show over the last 10 years. You want to hear some stats?
Oh my god, is Master Chief a Covenant killing machine?
Has and always will be. And in the first 10 years of this show, we piped into your
The crab game was another Crab's Treasure, was the one we talked about a little while ago.
of exclusive PC gaming content, streaming in a plethora
Skullnicorn,
of languages and regions.
And that's not all, Sean. We have
Xbox
worked
had a
closely
really
with
good showcase with like one caveat. Generally speaking, I think their showcase would have been better received if they like said how long it was going to be, because it felt like it ended kind of out of nowhere. It was a good showcase. The big thing I had was I wish I could be excited about New Life is Strange with Max returning, but that whole Nazis infiltrating Deck 9 story, go Google that if you want to read about it, made it hard for me to get excited about it. But generally speaking, I think they had a really strong showing. It was the most E3 feeling of the
You know we like to make
showcases.
things that are weird, uplifting, and fun. With those things in mind, I cannot wait to show you our brand new expressive dance battle adventure, All Systems Dance. All Systems Dance takes the fun of freely dancing and moving through a space, combines it with some tense arena combat and a heartfelt and funny story, all in the name of taking down an evil corporation. Look, we wanted to make a game about dance because, well...
Oh, I
we're
am
not the
aware
greatest
of
dancers. I
Life
know,
is Strange.
But that doesn't matter. The thing about dance is that everyone
Oh
can
god, what's
dance,
that
and
sequel
if
comic
everyone
series
can dance,
called?
if dance is what you need to save the world, then maybe everyone can save the world.
Yes, the comic
I
series
will let the teaser
that
speak for
happens
itself, but please go to allsystemsdance.com
is great.
for more information. Thank you
for watching.
And seems
this,
to
for
be
being a part
the
of this with
honestly
us.
the premise
And
seems to be
remember,
very
the
similar.
revolution will
It's
not be choreographed.
one sec. Yeah, for anyone who knows, I'll talk about this a little bit. For anyone who knows the Life is Strange sequel comics, they don't follow Max using time travel powers. They follow Max being pulled between parallel realities, somewhat out of her own control. The new game seems to be doing something very similar. It's Max's time rewinding powers aren't working, but she is hopping between parallel realities, and that is somehow going to become the new mechanic rather than time travel. Do we know who put the stuff in Life is Strange? Again, go read the IGN thing. That I don't want this entire stream to be me reiterating every detail of a really depressing news story. You can go read the Deck 9 thing. I mean, it's really not that hard to Google the words IGN Deck 9 Nazi. If you Google those words, you will find the article. It's not that hard to find it and go read it. You know. I appreciate the folks linking it. Look, usually I'm not the just go Google it person, but I'm tired enough by that story that I'm like, it's not on me. It's not on me to grab it again and again. All Systems Dance is on my wish list. I'm kind of excited for that. This looks fun. This looks neat. Fumes. Who doesn't want to fight a boat? We all want to fight a boat. You mother sulfurs have an average playtime of no less than 3 hours, 14 minutes. What is this? Thank you all for playing the demo. We decided to include more shit in it for free. What is it? Okay, Goblin first-person shooter, I guess.
Atlas 1-1, this is Zeus. Do you copy? Over. We've detected the anomalous presence in the Iron Corridor area. We need you to localize it and contain it. There's a lot of blue.
Yeah, Gumba Master, that's fair. All I can say is, the amount of things I would be summarizing probably a little inaccurately from memory from an article I read 2 months ago. It's better that you go Google the article, read it, or find a link someone's already posted in chat and read it rather than ask me to try and summarize it and probably get some things slightly wrong. Because I am emotionally charged about the narrative and haven't read it fully start to finish in 2 months. Trust me, I get it. It sucks. But yeah, me regurgitating the story is not the best. Is not the right way to get all the specifics. Phantom Line.
Okay, Mika, pop quiz.
But I didn't study, Sean.
Quiet, listen. Let's say you find yourself face to face with a huge mutant super soldier whose arm has been replaced by a chainsaw.
Okay.
What do you do?
Well, if I were a mad scientist working for an evil mega corporation, you know, like you do, I would probably replace its other arm with a grappling hook.
Oh my God, perfect, because that means you would fit right in at Tripwire Interactive, who have been working for years to bring us the next installment in the Killing Floor series. Now, for those of you who didn't know, the franchise has been a huge.
These
staple of
skits are
PC
just
gaming shows
melting
since
my
its
brain
inception
into
back in 2015. Tripwire has actually
non-existence.
been at 9 PC gaming shows. In the
The more they try and joke, the more
new upgraded generation
they
of Zeds
feel
in this
disingenuous.
long-awaited co-op horror FPS.
I could maybe
And
have
Zeds are
survived
the
this like
only
2
things
days
that have
ago,
gotten
but
an upgrade.
at
To
this
learn
point
more,
in the week,
we
I'm like,
visited
nah,
those
and I
mad
got this in
scientists
me.
at Tripwire Interactive for this exclusive look at the guns and gore of Killing Floor 3.
Who's ready for a bit of fun?
Oh, I'm pretty sure there was some corporate bullshit at Tripwire as well. I don't remember what it was. When I saw Tripwire's name come up, I was like, oh, they did something bad, right? Fuck it, let's Google it. Tripwire Interactive. Controversy is literally the second autocomplete resolved. Okay. Let's read from back in September 2021. The president of Tripwire Interactive stepped down after tweeting support for Texas's new anti-abortion law. He said he was proud of the legal outcome and was a pro-life game developer. He then stepped down. I don't know if there was more stuff. Okay, that might have been it. It was like 3 years ago their CEO was anti-abortion and he stepped down as CEO. Oh, he spent 53 hours tweeting about his anti-abortion views. Okay, he went on a real tirade. Doesn't seem like there was anything else. Their CEO spent
Action
over
4
2
would
days
be the
straight
thing that we focused on
tweeting
from
about
the beginning with
anti-abortion
Killing Floor
views,
3. It's
and
really
then
about
he's
science
not there
gone wrong.
anymore.
I mean, even like, look at this set, right? As a kid of the 80s and 90s, I just loved the Dark Horse.
Andy H says, are there any
Predator
game companies
comics.
who aren't
There were some
problematic? I
elements
mean,
in there about trying to create biological weapons.
we were talking about this is
set
the thing I was talking about after the Xbox conference. It's really fucking hard to be enthusiastic about video games. Like Tripwire, probably fine now. It was one bad CEO who no longer is there. But like every studio, it feels like, has a story like this, and it's exhausting to try and be someone who cares and doesn't forget about these things and remembers to bring them up when talking about these companies. It is a mentally and emotionally exhausting thing. Let's unmute.
We knew we wanted Zeds to become more challenging. We're increasing how they get to you, how they damage you. So the cone of danger has essentially increased dramatically. Anywhere on screen Zeds can be.
Oh,
So
apparently,
I have to kind of keep my head on a
lately there were
swivel
rumors about
and
really
learn
hardcore
how to
crunch that
prioritize
caused
my
talented
targets.
devs
It's
to
not
walk out
essentially
of the
what's
studio because
closest
it was
to
too
me,
much
but
to
what can
take.
get to me faster, what's going to do more damage. It's
Cool.
just more ways to kind of amplify not only the action, but that horror element as well in KF3.
We have like very detailed hit detection
Again,
system now,
and
you can blow
by
off
the end of
any
this year,
limb.
I will sure
Every
have told you
bullet
about
that
some
hits
games,
stays
and
there
you will
permanently, exactly where
you will
burn
have
creatures,
some
where
perspective
you'll
on
see its
some of my
flesh
thoughts
burn.
about
We
some
actually
games.
have Zeds where you can blow
This sure
limbs
is a
off,
year.
and they'll keep fighting you if it's not a critical spot of that Zed.
Most of our Zeds have somewhat of a critical zone on it. So certain Zed tech, like on the Flesh Pound, on his back, on his chest, they'll glow. If you shoot that, it will explode off and expose like an inner critical zone that when you shoot, will kind of deal the ultimate killing blow to that Zed. One thing that's always felt great
Hey,
in
game
killing
devs,
is shooting things in the head. We wanted
please let me
there
work
to
on your
be
games with you, but then
variety
also
when you
please
do
don't
that.
be shit.
Their heads are made up of multiple meshes. So
I would
that
like
it
to know
can
in advance
essentially
that
open
there's
up
at
and
least
kind
one
of
game dev
randomizes
studio out there
what
that isn't
head
shit
could
that I
look
can
like.
do some work
There is
with.
the opening shot of Day of the Dead, where there's literally just a massive tongue and maybe like a few teeth hanging there.
Mina
We're
Cobalt,
very
it
big
really
horror
was
fans.
just
There's
explaining
kind of
shoot the glowy
little
bit or the
Easter
head,
eggs throughout
yes.
everything. That impact and that feedback and that variation makes shooting things in the head feel incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, the Deck 9 story was a couple of months
We hope
ago.
you enjoyed that exclusive look at Killing Floor 3. For more information, visit killingfloor3.com.
I don't remember what else
and
was
wish
going
list
on at
now.
the time, but
What a beautifully twisted and nightmarishly gory game. Yeah. I've already added it to my wish list, and look at this, Mika.
Oh.
I've also been in their Discord for 3 weeks.
Supergiant seems to be
Sean,
fine from what
That
I've
is the
heard.
Discord for Cleaning Floor 3, the mopping simulator.
I've not heard anything bad about
wondering why there was so little chat
Supergiant.
about killing Zeds and so much about preventing streak marks on kitchen floors.
All right, let's
I've tried to
Zeds
contact them
behind
about
in our next
accessibility
game.
stuff,
That
and
is a
they
different type of
haven't
mob
in
filling
any
the
way
streets.
acknowledged.
Thousands of
Like,
screaming
they've not
sports
been
fanatics.
receptive to me
You
trying
can
to
manage
reach out about a
traffic
couple of
security
accessibility
and
issues with
logistics
Hades 2,
for
but
athletes and
that's
fans
like
in football
so-so.
tycoon game Coppa City. Here's the world premiere trailer.
The Chronos thing, but also a couple of other things. There's a couple of things where that I've contacted them. There's a couple of things I haven't publicly done, so I've privately tried to contact them about, where I'm like,
Get ready to host the biggest clubs from all around the
you
world.
probably need to do something about it.
Have to
Just
manage
no.
every single detail. Prepare for thousands of
I'm
fans.
trying my best to provide free, unpaid consulting for them, but...
Only get from football field.
Oh, is this legally distinct FIFA?
Safety is a top priority.
No, this is Stadium Manager. This is Stadium Manager.
Can you find the right balance?
The fans are getting excited, but the pressure on the organizers is rising.
Can you give them what they
Can you organize the route between the train station and the stadium, and make sure that the Roombas have cut the grass? Yeah, this is way more niche than, like, Football Manager at least is focusing on, like, manage the team. This is, do you want to be a local city planner on football day?
Host the biggest clubs. Engage thousands.
I would love to organize the routes so that both opposing teams accidentally join the same walking path and start a fight. Yeah, can you stop Rangers and Celtic fans from murdering each other? Can you deliberately make them? Oh, Copa City or Copacity, because you've got to manage the capacity of the stadium, I guess? Assault Android Cactus and Unpacking, yeah. What are they up to now? I don't like that this rose has lips. This is no that game with the ghosts that had a musical number the other day. If your trailer's going to be built around the song has to be really solid, and this musical number's like 10%, like 10-20% below where it needs to be. The game looks mechanically interesting in the way that I enjoy, like, a Captain Toad. That song was very... We wanted to have a song, rather than having an idea for a good song and working out a place to put it. It was... I want a trailer song, here's a trailer song.
Nightmare Clown. Hey, Cat. You ready to play awesome games in my own fantasy megaverse? I hope I never wake up.
Stay.
Bad Clown. So what's up first? A little Halo capture the flag, or...
Have a lovely picnic.
Sure.
Kat, we've been talking. You do know about PC Game Pass, right?
PC Game Pass? What's that?
It's a membership that lets PC players play new and immersive PC games.
My guide to a PC game is Dreamcast. Can please not here.
Have you heard that Game Pass exists?
Some of the biggest new releases, along with a curated library of PC games.
It even includes an EA Play membership. And it's crammed to the gunnels with exclusive member benefits and discounts. If I were you, Extreme Elf, then I'd use it to try games and buy them for less. Huzzah! Sick! Can I play with my friends? Ask them yourself! Huzzah! Cool! Multiplayer! So it's a gaming membership designed specifically for PC players, and you get all these awesome features for a low monthly price?
I really feel like this advert is a misstep. Anyone who is into PC gaming enough to tune in to the 2-hour-long, quite dry, full of developer interviews PC gaming show, I guarantee knows about PC Game Pass and or isn't going to be sold on it by cutesy, colourful, like, slightly condescending advert. Like, I don't know who that advert was for in this showcase.
Games without having to buy them at full price.
So true. Well, let's keep the show rolling with some more trailers.
Like, if that had shown up in the Wholesome Direct, I'd have been like, yeah, I get the tone you're going for. That seems so not what I associate the PC gaming show with. I associate the PC gaming show with, like, I've upgraded my graphics card 3 times already this year kind of PC gamers.
Solver for Strange Scaffold, the studio behind El Paso elsewhere.
Oh, hey, this guy!
FPS about a secret agent turns down one last job too many and gets hunted across the North American wilderness by the military-industrial complex. And I was like, hey, can I shoot this promo here? And they said, well, it's Texas, of course we can hunt you. And I said, what's that? The one thing the games industry needs more than a corporation that gives a shit about developers and their players is WASP.
This is the guy that made organ harvesting sell your organs on the black market simulator. That recent game about like
Cops are evil bastards and they should be shot on sight. Thank you.
Cops are evil bastards who should be shot on sight. Sorry, what was that? Yeah, well, he recently did that game about being like a serial killer, sacrificing people to keep God from ending the world.
Come on out, you big bitch.
Okay.
Yes, this is explicitly a game about surviving being hunted by the military-industrial complex and being like, cops are terrible, the military's terrible. I've said a little too much anti-military and anti-cop. They're trying to kill me now. How much is left? Like an hour, a little over an hour left of this. This guy makes games that are good and political and well written. Organ war. What was it? Organ harvesting warlord.
Be careful what you
warlord organ trader. I forget what it's fucking called.
The Cataclysma left us broken, lost, but we rose.
Hypnospace Outlaw. Oh, Hypnospace Outlaw.
Night after night. They broke us once, but I see no broken souls today. I see a people carved from stone.
What was that? What was Xavier Nelson's game called?
We will rebuild.
If it had a demo, I want to try that demo. I really enjoy his stuff generally, but I've completely forgotten already. I Am Your Beast. Okay. Yeah, he makes games people would describe as woke, and I think they're pretty good. I Am Your Beast. Yeah, there's its demo. Yeah, let me have a look quickly. Hunt the military-industrial complex across stylish comic book micro-sandboxes in a fast-paced, covert revenge thriller FPS. From the developers of El Paso Elsewhere, the last one they did that was pretty cool.
I don't care what you were doing back on Earth, shooting
I don't see the demo, but I came to this page and it did say demo.
This is nothing like what you've ever faced. Our intel confirms enemy operators deployed in the AO.
There is a Steam thing that says demo, but I don't see a download button on the demo.
Keep your mission objective a priority.
Yeah, it doesn't show up when you actually click on it, but the Steam search does say demo. Sorry, yeah, no, El Paso Elsewhere wasn't his last thing. El Paso Elsewhere was the top-down shooter where you're taking the top-down shooter where you're taking a bunch of drugs, and being all, my wife, my wife. Always, like, really fucking rad soundtrack choices in his stuff.
Excellent work as always, Day 9. What's up, everybody? I'm Tasteless, and I am joined with David Kim and Artosis. Today,
You're tasteless, are you? Well.
About a very exciting new game, Battle Aces, a fast-action RTS.
Is it just me, or is his voice just Day 9's voice?
That you see right here is my core. This is where my units train
like,
out of. And also, if I
his
lose
voice
the core,
is
then I lose the game.
Uncannily similar. I was really confused because I thought Day 9 was talking.
Is that correct?
Yeah, so right when the
He's
game
Day 9's
starts,
brother.
you
Is
have
he?
enough resources to either expand.
Okay, that would explain him copy pasting his brother's voice.
Show up on this screen right now is that intelligence bar. This is one of my favorite things about Battle Aces, where you can immediately see not just your unit deck, but your opponent's as well, and start strategizing from the get-go.
For sure, and not only that, I can also see the precise, I guess, tech progress of my opponent and vice versa too. So we can strategize very precisely in this game.
So with these unit decks, you can make almost any combination of units. How many units exactly are in the game Battle Aces right now?
Yeah, so we have 45 units planned for the closed beta, but we'll be adding new units.
Really? Do we need to know the precise number of units in this game? Is that...
Now, I know
is that important information at this second? We gotta slow down the reveals. We need to tell you there's 45 units right now.
Game where your opponent is playing a bit more fast-paced, right? Like he's running around, he's doing the attacking while you're doing the defending.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the different types of strategies that can be used for different players?
You would think you'd want the StarCraft commentators to have different voices from each other, so someone by voice alone could tell which commentator was talking. You would think that would be desirable, not for them to all melt together.
I can teleport back to any of my bases, making it a very easy defensive option. And
yeah, it's not like
to king crabs that are very strong at
I understand some of the showcases having to pad themselves out a little bit because they want to run back to back into another showcase, and that other showcase starts on the hour, and they're trying to like line up back-to-back showcases. There's nothing today after the PC Gaming Show. It could stop whenever it wants. There's nothing to say it has to be a certain length.
And the winning player is whoever has the higher score when that happens.
Now, we noticed that the two king crabs you have, they seem to be on a stealth mission here. It seems like you're skirting the bottom of the map, maybe going up for a little
You know
bit
what they, like, I feel like they should have done? You take all of these, like, developer interviews / show you more of the game, you take them all, you shove them to the end. You do trailer, stick around at the end, we'll show you gameplay of X, Y, and Z if you want to see more of them.
Yeah, it looks like he will end up killing off your third base here. And in fact brings in a huge army, but
the BT, the problem is I can't tell their voices apart.
Yeah, but I do have a
Terra says, would it be the PC Gaming Show if it knew when to stop? No, you're right.
So I'm feeling
the hallmark of this show is it doesn't know when to stop.
Yeah, it looks like
Nintendo used to do, like, we'll show you all the trailers, and then some of the trailers would say, stick around, it'll be part of Nintendo Treehouse. Which was like, we'll show you gameplay if you stick around later. They would even put up a schedule of when to tune back in if you just wanted to see, like, one of the games come up on the Treehouse. Nintendo Treehouse was great.
And we'll be starting our beta very soon, in a few weeks. So please make sure to sign up for the beta while you're there at the site.
And be sure to wishlist it on Steam. Thank you so much for joining us. That's all the time we have. Day 9, back to you.
It's watching shit like this that makes me go, I've done all right as a basically solo person learning without any help how to put a showcase together. I feel like the AA showcase is better paced and less cringe than PC Gamer. If nothing else, better paced and less cringe.
To be a PC gamer and an RTS fan. And with the lightning-fast action of its 1v1 and 2v2 modes, Battle Aces is a big reason why. Next up,
that was the thing about Nintendo
Treehouse.
Treehouse. Even if you thought it was a bore, no one made you stick around for it. They took the thing that, like, was paced in such a way people might not find it engaging, and made sure that it was, like, an optional extra you can stick around for if you're super invested, rather than we're stopping the direct to do this slow of the pacing to then get back to the trailers. They understood you quarantine that stuff so that if people aren't digging the changed pace, they can bugger off.
Okay, great. As I was saying, this new installment...
Keep talking, Day 9, and you won't have 9 days left after I...
Look, Mika,
What?
we can all hear your thoughts.
What? How?
Well, yeah, you recorded them earlier, in the voiceover studio. I mean, that's the audio that's getting piped into the studio right now. 003 Mika's internal rage.wave right now.
You got it, Sean.
I'm sorry, I just, I really wanted to introduce the show.
We acknowledged that we're making a show.
Okay. You've lost your memory and there's a bounty on your head.
We're aware of what we're doing.
Hey, wait, hold on. Where are my vengeful thoughts?
Oh.
Sorry, Sean. It got taped over with one of our nature documentaries.
All right, well, just play that, I guess.
Well, as I was saying, you've lost your memory.
Bolivian gulping iguana sounds its mating call, a noise often described...
I want to see fucking Citizen Sleeper 2!
Just cue the dang thing.
Well, in all of its uninterrupted glory, here's our first...
I hate how frequently the host pretends to be annoyed at the pacing.
Wake up, Sleeper. We're in trouble.
Where's the other host? I don't know, she's gone. She doesn't exist anymore.
But nothing's gone right so far.
You know what the thing is? Oh god, sorry, brain.
The contract Carson gave us was trouble from the start.
I'm glad that the PC gaming show is basically the last big thing of the week. Because if this was earlier in the week,
Not for a moment.
like, so many people would drop off and not watch the rest of the showcases. I'm glad this is at the end where people...
Suddenly, it was all over.
People are like, oh, the finish line's in sight. I can live with it.
But we've got to bounce back. We've secured the contract. So let's talk, crew.
The other host did the correct thing and left.
Andy with that drone. Stop the whole thing blowing up in our faces. Or Eugene. He's a loudmouth, but he's tough as hell. Although he did forget to tell us about Vesna. Or we find someone new, but new crew have new problems.
Is this fully voiced? I don't know. I don't know if this is trailer voiceover or game voiceover. I would love it if it was game voiceover.
Nothing in the belt.
I would have a much easier time focusing if there was voicing. With that old ADHD, I really, really value voicing. But I think that was trailer voice. I don't think that was in-game voice. Maybe I'm wrong. At this point, the woman may have just gone and given birth. I think we saw this before. I think I've wish-listed this. Demon School, yeah, this one. Yeah, the art for this game is gorgeous. Riley, real good-looking game, this. Yeah, sort of indie Persona. Oh, yeah, no, I couldn't have... honestly, yeah, the... One sec, there we go. Yeah, Disco Elysium so much easier to play with voicing. The first could be fully voiced and reading only if you wanted to read yourself. Read yourself to make the voices. Okay, maybe it will be fully voiced. That would be cool. Honestly, if that other host came back at the end holding her baby at the end of the show, I would have a lot of that would be one gag I would go, respect the hustle, respect the bit you like, we see her in a minute and she's recording from the fucking hospital room. Oh, I gotta get back to writing a new AA episode tomorrow. I think I know what tomorrow's AA episode might be, or next week's. It might not be specific to one game. It might be talking about dyslexia-friendly fonts and going like, hey developers, let's talk about Open Dyslexic and what it's helpful for and what it's not, and maybe why it shouldn't be the only alternative font option you offer. I might do the big let's dig into the topic of Open Dyslexic.
Wish you could keep track of all the games you're seeing on the PC Gaming Show? Well, that's exactly what wishlists are for. The PC Gaming Show Steam page is a one-stop shop where you can fill up your wish list with every single game we're featuring on our show.
Here she is, yeah, she's back.
Make it quick though. We've got an
But yeah, no,
unbeatable
Open Dyslexic
That's
might be this
no
week's AA
exaggeration.
topic.
It really
possibly.
is unbeatable.
Bella Bean, a person can be pregnant more than once. It is possible to give birth to a baby and then get pregnant again. Very plausible. Oh, pink hair and pronouns. Pink hair, pronouns, and kicking cops in the face. And rock music. Is she gonna hit the cop with a fucking lead pipe? Oh, it's this one! I've seen this game before. I played the demo for it. It was really cool. I forget what it was called. I saw this and it was really cool. It was one of the highlights of the PC Gaming Show in the past, and I've been waiting for this game to come out. What is it called? Yeah, it's music rhythm shit. I know why it's called PC Gaming Show instead of politically correct. Oh. Unbeatable! That was it. Come on, please tell me there's a date. A game where music is illegal and you do crimes. Okay, there's a new demo? Hell yeah. Let me play more of it. It's back on my wish list. Cool. Unbeatable demo tapes. Oh no, that's music stuff, yeah. Oh, I want Unbeatable already. Oh, it's not the first time music being outlawed has been a premise for a thing. There was, what, No Straight Roads had that premise. There's been a few music's not allowed no more. Duin Must Fall. Could be Nuclear Throne related. Clearly inspired by, if not Nuclear Throne. Oh, Odin Must Fall. That makes more sense. Odin Fall. Yeah, Odin must fall in Odin Fall. Thank you everyone who's surviving this with me. Look, I know we got like 55 minutes left of this and I'm gonna be struggling by the end. But there's a Nintendo Direct sometime this month. And there's like 15 minutes of Dragon Age gameplay to watch on Tuesday. Those are keeping me going right now. I almost keep falling asleep as well. I have streamed in the past 3 days. I've streamed 17 hours in the last 3 days. Will I be covering the Ubisoft event? Maybe.
Double shot of exciting news.
Depends how much I can be asked to.
1.0 launch and twin stick shooters.
If I cover the Ubisoft conference, it'll be the way I did last year, which is largely it will be on screen and I'll be like talking about the Ubisoft abuse situation and like the fact that workers there generally agree that nothing has fundamentally changed since those reports of abuse happened, and that situation seems to not be being really resolved. We'll unmute it if anything accessibility related happens, and I'll go, cool, Ubisoft are one of like 3 companies consistently doing accessibility stuff, and that is important to acknowledge. Anyway, let's stop talking about accessibility, mute it again, let's talk about abuse and workplace culture stuff again. Am I streaming the gameplay on Tuesday? I will probably stream the game, reacting to the Dragon Age thing on Tuesday, yeah.
Normal Hell 2 is permadeath.
I am very curious. It seems like they're doing the first 15 minutes of the game. I'm curious if they'll show character creation. I'm curious how much of, like, the combat will be shown. The combat I'm super fucking curious about Dragon Age.
The hordes of zombies are pouring in and using explosives and assault rifles to overcome that final challenge.
Like with Chivalry, combat is the first thing we focused on, being Torn Banner. We want that game feel just really intense, and it's part of the immersion. Every run is different. We're looking at how do we
Gumbo Master, I
experiences. You know, how do we
let me put this here. I don't think so. Look, having spoken to a lot of people at Ubisoft who are fighting for accessibility, it is a very sincere push they're making, and I think that I don't think there is any world where, like, I don't think there is a significant number of people who care about the abuse story and are still thinking about it, and care enough about accessibility that a conversation about accessibility would distract them from caring about the abuse situation. I think it is ridiculous to suggest that Ubisoft is doing good accessibility work only to distract from abuse and harassment allegations from a few years ago. Most people have forgotten about those allegations in the first place, and like Ubisoft's accessibility stuff has been like for like 10 to 15 years they've been really at the forefront of that stuff. Like, I think it is possible to go, this company genuinely and seriously cares about accessibility, but also has a serious problem with workplace harassment and worker safety, and that the two don't have to be connected. Sometimes the world is just seemingly contradictory, and both those things simultaneously exist. Yeah, and the thing is, my understanding is like 99% of people working at Ubisoft are genuinely good people. It's a small number of shitty executives who refuse to leave the company. What would a Ubisoft conference be showing anyway outside of Assassin's Creed Shadows? I don't have a fucking clue. Look, they could show Beyond Good and Evil 2. Apparently they've had a trailer for that ready for over 2 years? Maybe it's time that resurfaces Just Dance. But yeah, like, I'll say this. Every problem I have with Ubisoft can simultaneously exist with, like, last year at E3, the literal only mention of accessibility during Summer Games Fest that wasn't from the AA showcase was Ubisoft. They announced Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown 7 months before it came out, and at the time of announcement, they talked about every one of that game's accessibility settings. They were, last year, they were literally the only company to mention accessibility not during the AA showcase. And I have to give them that credit. As someone that covers accessibility in gaming, I would be doing a disservice if I didn't acknowledge the fact Ubisoft is basically the only company last year that used any of their Summer Games Fest time to do the thing I've been advocating for, which is talk about your accessibility at the point of announcement. That can simultaneously be true alongside me going, I will not buy Ubisoft games because I will not support the corporate structure that promotes abuse there.
18.
Did anyone do it this year? Off the top of my head, Call of Duty did talk a little bit about accessibility. Not a lot, but they did talk a little bit about accessibility in their showcase bit. I'm trying to think who else talked about accessibility. I think there was a tiny bit of discussion in the women-led games showcase. There was one very brief mention, not using the word accessibility, but essentially talking about that in the Latin American game showcase. Other than Call of Duty, I don't think there were any mentions for any of the big publishers mention anything accessibility-wise this year. Ubisoft really is the only one that might still do it outside of Call of Duty. I don't think we'd see a Mario and Rabbids teaser because of the timing of Nintendo's Direct. If a Nintendo Direct happened before Ubisoft's conference, I think we might see it. But I think if Ubisoft worked on a Nintendo thing, I think Nintendo would want to announce it first in this case.
And here I thought the worst thing that could happen while jogging is jogging. Now, you've heard of motorbikes and motorboats, but how about motor brooms? In Crescent County, you can escape to a beautiful and
Crescent County. For a second, I was like, oh god, is it fucking Harry Potter again?
Old wooden brooms. You soup them up, trick them out, and use them for drifting, racing, and running a high-speed delivery service. Let's take a visit to Crescent County.
This game does feel queer. I'm kind of into this one. Apologies for being a little distracted during this one. I'm doing a lot of like messaging back and forth about shit. A lot of things have come up today I am having to back and forth message about. Death Stranding but with lesbians on delivery brooms? Yeah. I do kind of like this. It's got a weirdly F-Zero vibe. Oh, they were about to kiss. Crescent County. Oh, those lesbians were about to kiss.
And now I'm beyond lucky to be joined by Crescent County's creative director, Anna Hollenreich. Anna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Now, that was a lovely trailer, and I'd love if you could just walk us through a little more of what we just saw.
It's kind of if you imagine Kiki's Delivery Service meets the Bikes of Kira, set on a rural Witch-Tech island. It's a game about finding yourself.
Oh, it talks about racing your crushes in this game that only really showed femmes.
How does a place become yours?
Oh, it's tagged LGBT. Fuck yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to paying attention to a video game.
With the characters that you've befriended along the way, or I don't know, maybe you want to get one of the characters to date you, but you need a bed frame because they have self-respect.
Crescent County is what it's called.
It's so real.
Okay, yeah, no, she's got a good sense of humor about her lesbian hookups. I'm in.
It's inspired by my first ever proper video games job where I moved to the Isle of Wight. I couldn't stop doing
Amy's telling me Crescent County would be relevant because I played Skyrim.
I was going to Comic-Cons, I was selling art about it, and I've been working in big teams on things like Fall Guys. But I knew that if I didn't launch myself out into the unknown, I would never forgive myself.
So you're taking this big leap into making this game, and it's in the cozy genre. What sets your game apart?
She's making a gay witches game in the UK. I want to know her. She seems fun.
Genre mashups. I think that they're so interesting, and I love making worlds that feel warm and lived in.
Can I just say, she's the first person with any kind of actual charisma they've had on the developer interviews.
You can trip out your motor broom to the point where you're almost flying and smash into your friends with all your sigil sticker powers.
What about it excites you the most, though?
Rule Spider has spelt it correctly. You should be able to find it on Steam if you search Crescent, Crescent, Tounty.
It can be just as intense and chaotic sometimes as well.
Where can everyone get their hands on Crescent County?
Oh,
so this game means
no, it is county. It's not country. It's county. County. Okay, there's Steam links in the Twitch chat.
Crescent County looks amazing, Sean, and it is just oozing with charm. I'm definitely making room for it at the top of my wish list.
Yeah, that was the first good developer interview they've had this whole time, and maybe that's just because it was gay and I woke up a bit.
The PC Gaming Show Steam page.
Okay, it's time to put the brooms away.
Look, it's perfectly valid to make art just because you want to spite someone. I've told this story before. My career as a video game critic entirely exists because one owner of a Legend of Zelda fan site wrote me a 3,000-word email to tell me that my writing would never be good enough to even be published unpaid, and that I should give up on my dreams because no one would publish my writing for free, let alone ever pay me for it. And I said, fuck you, man who runs that Zelda fan site. I'm going to prove you wrong and become a way more well-known writer than you, fucker. And spite fueled me to where I am today. And it was Conrad. Neilner, you're right, it was Conrad. My entire career is to spite Conrad, famous operator of a Zelda fan site.
My name is Sam Walker, and I am the last man standing.
So, some days I'm really tempted to just say, fuck you, and then, like, drop the name of that Zelda fan site creator. I don't want to start beef, but
at least I'll go down fighting.
The sheer temptation to just fucking drop his name, which is Conrad Zimmerman, by the way, and just be like, hey, sir, you're the reason my career is to spite you, good sir. Okay, so this is a G.I. Joe game. Cool. Wrath of Cobra, I see, yeah. Look, somewhere in my filing cabinet back there, I have a printout of that 3,000-word email. Like, I have a printout of the I'm gonna prove you wrong spite email. Sergeant Pastry, fuck yeah. Make that Black Samurai game out of spite. Whatever gets you making art, I think spite is a perfectly valid reason to create art. Prove people wrong by making cool shit. Yeah, that person will forever regret not letting me write unpaid news articles about Zelda for their Zelda site that was largely just walkthroughs and occasional news posts and poorly written opinion pieces, theory crafting pieces. Out of curiosity, if I search just the word Zelda fan site, how far does it take me to find that person's site? I'm not going to tell you the answer, but I'm just like... well, that answers that. Yeah.
Set out on the journey, child, and find your voice.
Oh, I'm telling you nothing about that site.
That suits your father.
But I don't know where to go, where to search for.
You can...
Playing low.
Some of you who followed Zelda fan sites like...
Other worse, whereby they have become one.
I'm gonna say 15 years ago at this point, might have once upon a time seen the site I'm thinking of. good 15 years ago. I'd have been like, yeah, I'd have been like 15. Bella Bean says, is a Steam Deck worth getting? Depends on your use case. Here's what I would say. If you're someone like me, who doesn't really play PC games because sitting at your PC is a thing that gets between you and playing PC games, for me, my PC is in my office, it's in my workspace, I associate it with work time. I don't want to be playing games for fun at my PC. I want to relax on the sofa, and like play games on the couch, away from my office. Like in a use case like that, if you have a thing where you're like, I'm not opposed to like playing, I want to play games that are exclusive to PC, I just don't want to sit and play them at my PC, that's for me what made the Steam Deck worth picking up. It was,
hello, my name is Nicole.
I would like to play to pick up a thing where I can play like
the world's first first-person shooter, The Crush House. So
largely my use case for the Steam Deck is like, I want to play something like, what's it called? Deep Rock Galactic Survivors, which is a Vampire Survivors style game that's PC only, that is in early access, that is like it's one of those Vampire Survivors kind of games, and I don't want to sit and play it in my office at my PC. I want to be watching TV and like second screen activitying it. Steam Deck's fucking great for that. It's good value for money for like the performance it manages. It's good for it's largely a machine that has become my, I want to play indie games that aren't on the Switch. Like it's great for like Summer Games Fest, where I can watch all these cool indies getting announced and be like, oh, well, these are all PC exclusive, but they're like small games I don't want to sit at a powerful machine to play. I just want to like play them on a handheld. Steam Deck's fucking great for that. Oh, this game, this was a Devolver one. You're the producer of a, like, Love Island reality dating show, but also it's a horror game, and also a first-person...
Start the season over, and maybe this time we'll make it to the series finale of The Crush House.
Yeah, you're trying to, like, stop a series of murders happening by, operating the TV cameras of a reality show. And, like, setting up the plot and things in a way that won't get them killed, or whatever. Yeah. It's... The Steam Deck is real good for, like, I want to play small to medium weight graphical games on an affordable handheld that has a reasonable power spec. It's a little big, it's a little heavy, it's not great for everyone. I know a few people for whom holding it is uncomfortable. You can, as Dandelion says, prop it up on something and play it with a wireless controller, you know, stuff like that, but... Yeah, Mr. L makes a good point. It's oh, this is Star Trucker. It's Euro Truck Simulator, but in space. I've been waiting for this game to come out. I really want to play this. Yeah, you can cut, like, 90% of the time you can kind of treat it like a console in terms of, like, not needing to think about PC gaming stuff, and then every now and then something will be a bit fiddly and you'll remember it's a PC. But, like, it's a midpoint between, like, PC gaming complexity and console complexity. I played some of this at Gamescom in August of last year. It's fucking rad. September 3rd, fuck yeah. Also, yeah, it's an emulation powerhouse.
Coming up on the PC Gaming Show.
Like, you know, for legal reasons, I'm not going to encourage you to, you know, necessarily use it that way. But the Steam Deck will very happily emulate, like, everything up to and including PlayStation 3 and Nintendo Switch, which is pretty fucking impressive. Those systems emulate really well on Steam Deck and are surprisingly easy to set up emulation of.
Trust me when I say I know what it's like to wait for a big release to arrive. This particular download has been queuing for months. But fans
oh
of
no,
extraction
3DS
shooters,
is still
and I'm talking
fucking
about
easy.
The extraction shooter, the one that kicked off
3DS
the
is still fucking easy on
genre,
Steam Deck.
Don't have much longer to wait. Multiplayer FPS Escape from Tarkov has been in beta since 2017, but is now preparing for its heralded 1.0 release.
Is Tarkov
Here's
not
a
in
look at what's
1.0?
coming when the
Fuck
granddaddy of
off.
extraction shooters goes gold.
I don't know if she's pregnant. I wasn't sure if she was pregnant, and then chat started confidently saying she was pregnant. I was like, okay. If she's not pregnant, I apologize. I assumed chat was correct about pregnancy. I don't know.
Давненько не заходил. Куда пропадал-то?
Okay, she does sound so sure she is. Okay, then I'm not being rude by saying she's pregnant. Look, why would I need to emulate when I can plug a real Switch cartridge into this weird little box? Why would I ever need to emulate when I can do that? This sure is a weird little box I now have that exists. That I can plug legitimate Switch cartridges into for interesting purposes. It is fun. Now that I own that weird little box, I can play my legitimate Switch cartridges on my Steam Deck and be playing a legitimate cartridge game from the cartridge on Steam Deck. That is... It's a weird world we're in now. Okay, she did just make a pregnancy joke. What is this box called? Oh, who could even say? The letters M, I, and G are just some random letters that some people might associate with the Switch. I did have a little play around with it. Being able to have like a legitimate Switch cartridge and just plug it via USB and then adapt it and be running a Switch game on the Steam Deck but running it from the cartridge? It's fucking wild. How powerful do I think Switch 2 will be? I think that's a really complicated question to answer. I think it will be... I wouldn't expect most games to be running above 1080p 60, but I think it will support a lot of modern gameplay features that will make graphically downgraded ports of modern titles way more achievable than that power spec would suggest it would be. This looks really cool. Yeah, I think 1080p 60 would make it sound like a bunch of modern games wouldn't be able to be ported to it, but I think they will, because I think in some ways Switch 2 is going to be ahead of the curve tech-wise. Even if it's aiming for a lower, like, resolution and frame rate upper ceiling.
If it's vengeance you want, I'll give it to you. As long as Uru is free, your world is in mortal peril. Help me seal him away. Stem the tide of destruction.
But yes, my point being, yeah, the closest you're ever gonna get to, like, emulation being legitimate for a console like Switch is I literally plug my Switch cartridge into the Steam Deck and play it that way. Like, not so much as playing a ROM, it's like, no, my Switch cartridge is running the game. Switch emulation is in a weird place. It's in a fascinating spot.
Let's go.
Again, Mr. L, I would be surprised if it is, because the whole point of it is that the R4 was able to be blocked by software updates because it wasn't legitimately authenticated. It was like booting to a system menu that wasn't a legitimately authorized cartridge file, which made it patchable. The thing with that Switch device is it's 100% it just looks like a legitimate copy of a video game. There is no fake launcher that it is booting into to be detected. Nintendo just went live. Ah, the ninjas are coming. They're coming. Yeah, it's for Smash Bros. Yeah, it wouldn't be anything important today. Oh, too much shit happening. I'm having to keep an eye on.
This game blows your mind.
Sorry, had a minor panic because I got a tweet from someone that just said, "Can we speak urgently first thing tomorrow morning?" and a phone number, and I was like, "Oh god, what?" No, it was someone who was offering to do BSL for the Accessibility Summer Showcase that aired 2 days ago. I'm like, no, I'm not going to call you first thing tomorrow morning. The showcase happened 2 days ago.
As you were saying.
Right, well, we don't have much left in the show, so it's time to...
Sorry, it turns out
there's half an hour
I'm
of
allergic to shows nearing conclusion.
Are we nearing conclusion? It's half an hour to go, sir.
Very special. We are living in a golden age of city builders, and there's something out there for everyone. Strategy, survival, puzzle games, co-op. There are even some really great cozy
I hope it really is near the end. That
even with all the city builders,
they said
I've
2
played,
hours,
I can
and it's been an
honestly
hour and a
say that
half.
we've never seen one quite like this. From a very talented team of developers who made games like Mark of the Ninja and Gone Home. Let's watch the world premiere of Generation Exile.
Mark of the Ninja and Gone Home weren't made by the same team, were they?
Our generation
Fulbright
ship
didn't
was
make
to
Mark
travel
of the
hundreds
Ninja,
of
did
years
they?
Across the stars, so we could build a new world for
Who's
humanity.
making this game?
We had tried to restore Earth's ravaged ecology. The desperate
Okay, so it's a
solution
mix
nearly
of some
wiped us
people
out
from
instead.
Fulbright and some people from the
now it's
other
on a
team.
ship.
That's
And it's
such a
growing.
weird way to say
There are only a few thousand of us left,
the
and we
team
cannot
behind
repeat
Mark
the
of the
past.
Ninja and Gone
In
Home.
our ship's closed ecosystems, resources are finite. Nothing can go to waste. Every bit of scrap needs to be salvaged, reclaimed, and repurposed into what we need to survive. Materials, food, water, air.
It's not just me
It
that
might
found
always
that
work well with each
confusing,
other.
right?
We might squabble, we might stumble, but we are all we have. As we're building a balanced ecosystem, years will go by like minutes. We must adapt to each other
Ugh.
and to the unknown. We're not just learning to build a sustainable future. Everyone on board is living their own story, and your story will be different from mine. Can we escape the mistakes that drove
Yeah,
us from
don't
our
tweet
home?
me. You need to call me
Because
first thing
every
tomorrow.
decision
Phone number. I'm
we
like,
make now
you're gonna make me panic and go, what the
determines
fuck
if
did I
humanity
do?
earns a second chance.
There we go. I've relaxed from my momentary fight or flight activation.
Generation Exile is a sustainable solarpunk city builder with a reactive emergent narrative that changes every single time the game is played. You are aboard a generation ship traveling for several hundred years, leaving a
It looks
ecologically
fine.
ravaged
It's
Earth
not
behind,
my thing, but
to
like
help
it doesn't
you
look
find a new
bad.
home for humanity. So rather than repeat
Just not my genre.
the failings of Earth in the past, you need to find a new way to develop a society.
They did call it Solarpunk. You're right, everyone. Everyone who asked is it Solarpunk, they did say Solarpunk.
To the destination planet, and that they live to get there, and there's enough people to keep humanity going.
Players' goals differ a bit from traditional recognizable city builders, where yes, you're still having to provide the basics for your society, food, shelter, clean water, but there's kind of this unquestioned notion that we see both in a lot of strategy games, but also just in the world around us, where it's like, oh, well, when we need more resources, we can just keep extracting, we can just keep growing and growing and growing. It's simply not possible to keep expanding forever, and that is
okay. That is actually pretty cool.
For sure, but I think part of that has come from just looking
not infinite
at
growth, infinite expansion, infinite mining of resources.
For the next quarter, we see the harm that is caused by
a game of this genre actually thinking about sustainability of your resource loop
in the short term, and the people who are the harmed the most by that are the thousands of people who.
You know what? This is actually pretty cool. Okay, they're indeed Gone Home.
As you make your way through the game,
and Mark of the Ninja devs.
Infinitely getting bigger. It's about becoming
those two on screen are okay. One of them's from Gone Home and one's from Mark of the Ninja. Okay.
No external source of anything.
Did I play Terra Nil? I did. Terra Nil is good. Terra Nil is in that genre. Yes.
What we wanted to achieve is to take
yeah, I'm curious on their take, because this take seems to be
but having
a different set of mechanics going on. Terra Nil kind of sidestepped the quest.
So rich about city builders
some of
is that they're so systems dense, and that game state.
It was not the same kind of system
choices and decisions that the players making, but the opportunity.
Yeah, it's the other side of the same coin. Yeah.
Look at all that in the city building layer game state. And then
drag it out into the narrative, kicking and screaming.
but in a good way.
In a good way.
Where rather than just like everyone's going to play through the game, and at turn 15, this thing happens. Then at turn 25, this thing happens. Instead, you can just have authored narrative events that are reactive to whatever choices you've made, like weird ecology things that are occurring aboard the vessel, or
their situations,
crises.
Yeah.
Small and large. We're able to provide the player the ability to make consequential specific decisions that are divorced from just the pure systems of the game, which then informs the events that will occur in the future.
Okay, the self-publishing, cool.
There will be echoes of the decisions you've made along the way.
I like their ambition.
The journey to get there is one that you uniquely experience, and
yeah,
conditions.
PC gaming show, you need to do more of this. Like, I would have said this interview could have been shorter, and put like watch the full interview on PC Gamer.com.
Right now on Steam.
Do a little intro and go, do you want an interview with these guys? Do you want to know more about this game? Go check out the YouTube channel. There's like a whole thing.
Learn more as we roll things out. There'll be more.
But yeah, good conversation to have.
Tidbits in there.
Will they be delicious?
The more I hear about this one, the more I'm like, yeah, okay, there is something neat to it.
A huge thanks to the good folks at Sonderlust for letting us take a look inside their new sci-fi city builder, Generation Exile.
It looks incredible, and the amount of love and work the team have put into it really shines through.
Now look, we are under no illusion that this last year has been incredibly difficult for so many developers in the face of thousands of layoffs and countless studio closures.
Today we are so grateful that we have the chance to put a spotlight on many people really continuing to make games in the face of uncertainty.
And if there's any game you saw in our show or in any of the other many shows,
there's been some odd cuts here where there's been like two black frames in between the camera cut.
It goes a long way
to make it almost seem like the two of them aren't sat in the same room despite looking like they are.
Next up, you'd think the sight of a house standing up and walking around on two weird massive chicken legs would be horrifying, but when you realize it's taking some heavy witch vibes from everyone's favorite Slavic folklore character, Baba Yaga, it's actually pretty awesome. Reka is the base building exploration game you'd curse yourself for missing.
Summer Games Fest mentioned the layoffs. There's been a couple of showcases actually that have mentioned the layoffs. Wholesome is still the only one to have acknowledged Palestine, so fucking well done. As I said at the time, I donated to the children I'm blanking on the fucking acronym now. The RPCF, the Palestinian Children's Fund, RCRF. The Palestinian Children's Relief Fund. I knew some of the letters in there. And I was like, yeah, if any other showcase brings up a pro-Palestine charity, I'll donate to them in real time too, because I want to put my money where my mouth is when I tell people they should talk about Palestine in their showcases. I'm glad that Wholesome brought it up. And they brought it up like 3 times as well. They continually were like, hey, reminder, fucking support charity. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Fuck yeah.
We aren't the only ones celebrating an anniversary. iBuyPower is hitting a major milestone of their own, having been around for 25 years. iBuyPower is a fully independent and leading manufacturer of high-performance pre-built and custom gaming PCs based in North America. As a special thanks for 25 years of powering the PC gaming community, iBuyPower is giving away one of their official VCT Americas PCs, the RDY Y70 Valorant VCT AR002. This bad boy boasts a hefty AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D CPU, a GeForce RTX 4070 Ti, and 32 gigs of DDR5.
That sure is a lot of letters and numbers.
Did I also mention it's got iBuyPower's 240mm RGB liquid cooling unit? For your chance to win, head over to pcgamer.com/survey. And now, back to more trailers.
I remember
Meet the lock
the numbers 4070 were in there. And there was GDDR something.
And expands their society. Learn and spell their words, each with its own special ability to change the environment.
There is no world in which I'm going to remember the spelling of fictional made-up words well enough to do a spelling game about words that I can't look up in a dictionary how to spell. I got some of those words. There were too many of them happening in quick succession for me to keep up with them, but I know GDDR is the RAM, and you want it to be at least GDDR5 RAM, and the 4070 is a pretty good, very modern ray tracing graphics card. I know that.
Stands in her way, a disgraced retired Navy SEER who can see every possible future, but can't remember his own tragic backstory.
There's only like 4 words in the demo and like 5 to 6 in the book.
Whose mastery of lightning is devastating.
That's not going to be the whole game's word list, I don't imagine, though. My problems with spelling and memory, I just don't think that game's going to be for me.
She can heal you, but she'll have to kill you first. The Rebel Riot Priest, your heavy support. Faith is her armor. But she
is GDDR separate from regular RAM? I thought it was just.
They can't stop. As long as they can.
Maybe the G stands for graphics. I thought it was just the one kind of RAM. I thought all RAM you wanted to be GDDR RAM.
Tactical Breach Wizards. Coming to Steam.
Shows me what I know. I built my fucking PC and I don't remember like what sort of.
Also, could you wish list it, please?
What sort of RAM I'm supposed to have.
Wow, what a show so far. I'm absolutely loving it. And don't forget, you can do more.
I know
than
I have
watch
a
the
SSD, but I also have like a mechanical hard drive that is like a bigger capacity. It's the RAM in the graphics card, but it's still RAM. I thought the GDDR RAM was like the separate RAMs. I thought the RAM sticks I put in were GDDR RAM.
For our 10th anniversary, we've counted
You
down
bought
the
RAM, you
10
could just
biggest
download
moments
it.
in PC gaming over the past decade. You can see where your
I thought the RAM sticks I plugged in were like GDDR RAM.
Right.
I thought my RAM sticks were GDDR. Are they not? I don't know what I'm doing. Those are just DDR. Oh, DDR.
It's co-op
Okay. You can see why I'm confused. Because I know GDDR's a thing, and I know some Ds and Rs were involved in my RAM.
Hello, I'm Manuel
in my RAM
founder and
sticks.
creative director of Astrolab Interactive. It is my greatest pleasure to announce that we
DDR is Dance Dance Revolution. What do you all mean? Oh no.
Sandbox survival game set in the sky. Take a look at our new trailer for a few more.
I built a PC and I don't know. I clearly don't understand what I put in there. GDP. It's the first few times I heard GDPR. Yes, it's European data privacy. You've got to... Europe requires you be... maintain the privacy of your RAM. You've got to have GDPR RAM. I know my PC is strong enough to play the review copies of games I need to play. That's all I know. Hey, Sky Whale. A loft. Oh, it's a multiplayer thing. Yeah. Not me. I think this is the 6th time we've seen this game. I've been trying to keep count. I think this is the 6th trailer for this game. So it was in the Guerrilla Collective. I think it was in Summer Games Fest. I think it was in Day of the Devs. It was in, I think it was in, I think it was in Latin American Games. Was it in Wholesome? Or Women Led? Was it in one of those two? I think it was in one of those, and then now it's here. I'm pretty sure we're up to 6. Yeah, I think it was in Wholesome. Yeah, so Guerrilla, Summer Games Fest, Day of the Devs, Latin American, Wholesome, this. I think we're up to at least 6. Hey, if I'd had that would never have been in AA, because you know what would have happened? One of the things I do when people come forward to me with games for the AA showcase is I ask them, are you in any other showcases? Have you agreed, or do you plan to agree to any other showcases? If not currently, but you do want to be in another showcase, like, let me know so that we can, like, assess how many showcases you're in and whether this is, it's gonna be, like, is there a need for you to be in mine if you're in everyone else's, or do I make space for someone else instead? But then also, if you're gonna be in other people's showcases, what's gonna make your trailer for mine different? Which is why one of the few games that you saw in other showcases that you saw in the AA showcase was Slime Heroes, a game that I knew other trailers were going to just show gameplay, and the AA showcase one was going to talk about the mechanics and like be fundamentally showing different things and talking about the game. And I was like, yeah, that's different enough to me to justify it crossing over. Yeah, if I knew it was in 6 other showcases, I wouldn't have said yes if asked to the Game Boy one, because it doesn't need more spotlight. It's getting its plenty of eyes on it already. It's doing all right. It doesn't need my help.
You bring the police to my door, to my rig.
I can sort this, right? I just need time.
Don't you answer me back! You're fired. You hear me? Fired. Jesus, Gregor! Gregor!
I warn you in advance, when this showcase ends, I'm not sticking around. I'm leaving pretty swiftly when this ends. – 14 hours of streaming in 3 days, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Horror on a Boat, it is a classic. Jeff asks how we rate the Xbox showcase. Solid 9 out of 10, brackets, Life is Strange probably knocked that number down a bit. But that's not your fault.
Dude, Hotel
Really.
Galactic looks so cute, right?
Oh my god, it does. And honestly, I would just love to manage a bed and breakfast for alien travelers. I just worry that my quaint taste and timeless valence bedspreads just might not be suitable for interdimensional species tastes. I don't know. What do you think, Mika?
Sean, look at me. If anybody can create the cutest bed and breakfast for interdimensional space beings, it's you. It's this guy.
Oh, you always care, Mika.
Will Spider says, simple question for a friend. If the devs have their game on another showcase later in the same week, a single one, would you welcome their announcement mentioning accessibility in their presentation to reiterate the bit
atmospheric as
of
hell and
accessibility
positively
communication?
chilling.
One sec.
To that, Mika.
Announcement mentioning accessibility showcase in their presentation. Oh yeah, no, honestly, like, yeah, fully talk about accessibility or accessibility as and when. The more discussions about accessibility happening, the better. It's all good.
This is taking place during a scorching heat wave.
Oh my god, and as someone who lives in California, I can confirm that's way worse than zombies.
I feel you. I mean, my family's Irish. I get sunburned by the moon.
Okay, that was an actual joke, Deck 9. I don't think it was a particularly well delivered one, but you had a setup and punchline. Like that, I will look at that one and go, you wrote a joke there. I will acknowledge that one was a joke. This does look pretty cool. Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. Okay. Didn't really get a good chance to check what it was,
PC Gaming
but...
Showcase. I'm Tanya from KitFox Games, and I'm here to show you 3 different games today. So let's start with Dwarf Fortress.
Hi, I'm Zach Adams. And I'm Tarn Adams. We're the co-creators of Dwarf Fortress, inviting you to play Adventure Mode in open beta.
And we'll be adding tutorials and demigods later this summer.
While you're waiting, you can play Caves of Cud, the most intricate roguelike ever made.
Hello, we're Brian
and Jason.
These are not for me, but more power to ya.
1.0 release.
These are very PC
but out today
games.
is the spring molting patch with its all-new UI. Live and drink.
And our final piece of news today is a whole new game to announce, a world premiere for the PC Gaming Showcase, Streets of Fortuna.
Procedural city simulation.
How will you survive in Fortuna?
This doesn't look like real gameplay. This gameplay looks like the fake CGI trailer you see. It's the fake video game you see in the background of like an episode of Friends.
An artist.
Like, this is mobile game CGI trailer that doesn't represent the real gameplay. Animation.
Sandbox.
Do you know what I mean?
Citizen living their simulated life. Use knowledge to your advantage, romantically or politically. Live your other life in Streets of Fortuna.
It's something about the animation. Yeah, it's from the NCIS video game episode. Yeah. No, I think it is real gameplay, but just it's real gameplay that is way too Uncanny Valley close to those trailers. Ugh. Hey Bear Aunt, thank you for coming along. I'm glad that that you enjoy my degrees of snark and insight and in exhaustion and excitement in somewhat equal measures. Is this PC Showcase as interesting as the previous ones? It's not the worst that the PC Showcase has been. There's at least one game that looked gay and colourful that I wish-listed. Oh. I didn't like those silently moving mouths. Just Apparently this is a new golden idol, a thing I don't know what is. Yeah, it was lesbian witch broom racing. The Rise of the Golden Idol. Okay. I don't know what Golden Idol is, but some people in chat got excited. Mad Lib's detective
That was the Rise
game.
of the Golden
Okay.
Idol, once again inviting you to unravel the truth being a tangled mystery. Now, take a look at a game from our friends at Hooded Horse that combines turn-based strategy with
Okay, in
real-time
theory, we're like 4
exploration.
minutes from done.
Here's the new trailer for Every Day We Fight.
We're real near the finish line, everyone. Escape is within our grasp.
While our countries were at war, the Rifters came. They put a dome over the city.
Suddenly, almost everyone was frozen. Just a few of us were left.
Not soldiers, just ordinary people.
They did show Citizen Sleeper 2. It looked neat. It wasn't the worst that the host segments have been. It was tacky, it was forced. It always is. They didn't drag them out as long as they have done some years.
Are we alive?
Dallas Alanka, it's always really nice to know that people find that this makes these worth watching.
I think we jumped
Tune in next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. No. 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern, yeah, 2 p.m. Pacific. For probably a week of streams of me playing demos of stuff from Summer Games Fest. And then after that, at some point soon I might start playing through like a big playthrough of a big game again. I have thoughts about what that game might be. It's going to depend on some factors, but I might start a big playthrough in the next couple of weeks that might last for a couple of months. I might pick a big game to play for a while. Oh no, PC Gamer Show, this looked interesting. Let me see it. Couldn't you have done this on a shitty looking game? World of Yokai. Yokai are sort of ghost spirits. Oh, Stardew Valley, but if you could turn into like a water slime to water the plants and stuff. I could maybe get into this. I'm not opposed to it. Skip forward to live. Oh, Sapphic Soprano. This is apparently one Sapphic Soprano backed on Kickstarter. What, the Stardew one or this one now?
Velkomin í verndarvættatör.
Tales of Take-You, the Stardew. Cool. I hope that trailer was reassuring. Yeah, the yokai farming one. It looked kind of neat. I'm glad. Oh, we really are in the era of PS1 nostalgia games being the retro aesthetic, huh? People really are trying to recapture that, like, mid-90s 3D. We've been long overdue this period of nostalgia for game aesthetics. Airframe Ultra. Focus on me play, I understand. These showcases, I understand how it could be 6 PM and you're already tired. Oh, that legally distinct kart racer that recently released that is nothing to do with any other licensed property. Yep. I'm going to be really interested to see, like, PS2 specific nostalgia. People trying to capture... Because, like, that's... It's hard to imagine what the specific flaws... Like, the specific flavor of I'm deliberately capturing... like PS2, like how you do that in a way that people go, ah, I can feel this is deliberate and it's scratching my nostalgia.
Hi everyone, this is Dave, community manager on Windblown.
Xbox 360 brown shooter nostalgia. Oh, the time will come.
Of Dead Cells. These cute characters here are the Leapers, who live in the Ark.
These are adorable character designs.
By a massive vortex of doom. So they train up and become fearless warriors to fight back in an attempt.
Okay, I'm picking the Switch back up for this. The Steam Deck.
Letting you dart across the stage, dodge out of enemy attacks.
Yeah, they've gone over 2 hours now. After at 90 minutes saying we're nearly done.
Different gear and upgrades, creating powerful synergies between them.
Rachology, honestly, looking up when I seem excited, but otherwise reading a book really does seem the best way to enjoy these.
Jump online with up to 2 other players, meaning you can mix your builds with your friends and find the best combinations to carry you through the diverse biomes. Windblown will launch later this year into Steam Early Access. Player feedback is super important to help us craft a game that you guys will love to play. So join us on Steam for the latest updates and information on how you can join in on the fun. See you soon in Windblown.
I will...
Folks, we are in the final stretch of the 10th anniversary PC Gaming Show, but that doesn't mean we are winding down. We are, in fact, amping up.
That's right! We're wrapping things up today with not 1, but 2 world premiere trailers.
Okay, the final 2 things. Final 2.
3 world premieres.
No, Sean. That coupon expired in 1989, so we won't be getting...
Oh, well, that's too bad, except... Ah, look at this! This is our 10th PC Gaming Show, which means I get a free world premiere.
Look at this guy! Thanks to Sean's Grandmaster level card play, let's check out 2 big...
Oh, buy one, get one free! Oh, we couldn't buy one, get one... Oh, we can't buy one, get one... What the fuck is this skit? 2 trailers. Last 2 trailers. That's what we're being told. Okay, more cult games. Yeah, there were 2 spots on that card. I was gonna say, he hadn't finished filling in the marks on his card to get his free game yet. He didn't even do the... He didn't even make the skit accurate by, like, having all the stamps filled in. Like, he left 2 spots as if, like, I'm due 2 free games. But that's not how a fucking loyalty card works. You fill in all the spots, and then you give away the card to get your free game. I mean, I like cult games. I'll take more cult games. Why does this art style seem familiar? Oh, is this the Hex 2? By any chance? Probably not. No, Gunboat. Gunboat God? Gunboat God. No demo, it is wishlistable. I will. I'm intrigued enough to wishlist this. Cool. And with that, we're done. We're done?
And that is a wrap on the PC Gaming Show 2024. We had such
Ooh.
a great time showing you all the exciting PC games headed your way, and we're especially thrilled that you could join us for our 10th anniversary show. And I mean, if you've been tuning in to watch our show for 10 years straight, thank you
Against my better judgment, sir, I have
and if
been.
this is your first time watching, just one watch this show like 10, 20 more times. Make up for all the ones you've missed and for the future ones.
That's 100%
Don't do
how
that.
the coupon works.
Right, and the punch card.
Yeah, the PC Gaming Show is always the
We can't
worst
forget
paced
to
of
say
them.
goodbye to our brave captain of the
It's
watch party,
way
the
better than it
amazing
was 10 years ago in
Frankie
terms
Ward.
of pacing.
Guys, it's been a great show. And
It's simultaneously true that it is way better paced than it used to be, while still being by far the worst paced.
Huge thank you to all the game developers, artists, designers, writers, voice actors,
Oh.
and everyone else out there working
I
so
have
hard
been, but
day
at
after
some
day
point the
to
tradition
create
has been
games
to watch
that we
Laura so I
play
wouldn't
and
fall
love.
asleep.
We appreciate every single one of you.
Heck yeah.
Frankie, and don't forget that you guys at home can wishlist every game you saw on our show today by visiting the PC Gaming Show Steam page.
Thank you so much again.
That means not a single game that was on itch.io in your PC Gaming Show this year. Support games from smaller creators on stuff like Itch. Go check out Cellular City from the AA Showcase, for example. That's not on Steam. It's cool though. Okay, I'm done. I'm out. Thanks all. I will be back streaming tomorrow. I will probably be streaming the Ubisoft thing. I will also maybe be doing a regular stream as well, depending on how long Control.access takes me to get recorded. I'm not sticking around for the bloopers. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Goodbye. Have a good one. I'm gonna go get some rest. Goodbye.